welcome everybody to a Friday night special. There's some of us here. I mean, we got more. I think we got more panelists than we'll have listeners tonight, but that's okay. Well, we don't mind. We don't mind. It's just good to see everybody there. This is a special Clobberin Comics movie review with what a great panel I have with me tonight. Of course, the great chief engineer himself, Mark D with his C, is here. And from the great channel, J-Man. It is J-Man and Sean. Who's the sidekick? I think J-Man's the sidekick. Yeah.
Sure, I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I like Robin. Robin's a great character.
The big tiger in the background.
Yes, thanks, gentlemen, for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Good to see you, man. Good to see you, man. Yeah, we're here we've done this a couple of times actually, and we should do it more. Well, we do it when there's some sort of movie event to talk about.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I forgot to send, because I don't think he can make it, but I forgot to send the link out to our buddy Nick. But I'm going to send it out to him now.
Yeah, send it to him. Yep.
Yeah.
He might be eating pizza right now. It's a Friday night.
Yeah. But I did tell him, because I told him last night he could show up. Nick, of course, was kind enough to invite me on last night. We didn't do our usual Clobberin Clubhouse. He was kind enough to invite me on to Comics Division show last night, and I had a wonderful time. I want to thank the great Comics Division and Toxic Man Flu and that panel there for being very gracious, being very cool. What a great bunch of guys they were. It was a lot of fun hanging out with them, and I just had a blast. And I'd never been on there before, and they were too kind. Treated me like a guest. Treated me way better than I deserved. Absolutely, but I was honored.
It was a great show. It was fun.
To be on there. They were really cool. Let's see here. Sorry about that. But I want to thank them for that. Sorry, everyone. Anyway, hello. Let's see who we have here with us tonight. Well, if they're all still with us, Comics Relief Crusader.
Hey, how's it going?
Here. What's up, dude? Take the con for a second, Mark. I have a tech thing.
Oh, yep, sure thing. Yep. So, we got we got Chris Persia here saying if Nick isn't eating pizza, it could be a grilled cheese sandwich using pizza cheese. Yeah, probably, right?
Oh, pizza cheese is great, man.
Or pizza balls if we're gonna get into the movie, right? Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta make those.
And I did get a great. I just want to say, whatever you think about the movie, that popcorn bucket is just too cool.
Oh, that was cool. Yeah.
Did you guys get that?
You guys get the best stuff.
No.
Did he get that one?
I'll go grab
it's
mine.
AMC.
Yeah, we're in Canada. We didn't get anything.
It's some. I don't know what it is about it. It's silly. It's really silly, but I liked it. I like the bucket there. So,
let me go grab mine. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Cool. Because mine's. I have not to show mine on camera anyway. Chris Persia, what's up, buddy? The great master of the Wrench Canadian, who was there. I know you're probably pulling some double shift there at the great FNT tonight, which is going on. Everyone, we look. If I thought it was any way damaging to the great FNT, I would not go on because I respect and love those guys. But hey, this is just we're doing this. We'll have it recorded so people can watch the opinions and only opinions that matter. There, our opinions on this
Plus
very important film.
We have popcorn here.
Oh, here we go.
Awesome,
we got popcorn. I don't have popcorn.
That looks wicked, man.
How'd they do the layered butter, man? You gotta.
Well, it's got a hole in the top. You said.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Okay.
And I got
some popcorn in mine.
I got M&Ms and where are the someone picked out all the M&Ms. Yeah, where are the M&Ms? Yeah.
I still have popcorn in mine.
There's some M&Ms on the bottom. They fall to the bottom.
Yep. You know what though? You guys are probably better off because there could be some really nasty spells on there, and we get it into our homes. We'll bring them home, and then who knows what the fuck's going to happen?
I tried the incantations, and so far they haven't worked. But
it doesn't add butter to the popcorn.
Or no, it's supposed to refill automatically, right?
Yeah, but with magic,
refill. No,
it's supposed to.
It's big though.
That's pretty big. Yeah.
It is.
There's a lot of popcorn in there.
Mine still has popcorn in it.
You just
got to watch out the
bots, guys. Bots.
Yeah, we'll get them. Yeah, just don't click on the link. Yeah, we'll get them. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Let's see here. I mean,
wow.
Who am I to tell you not to click on the link? If you want, you're grown up if you want to, but just don't blame me. There we go. Oh, you got it already. Okay.
That's a whole
that
lot
was
of
a-
popcorn, man.
That's a lot of
That was a
popcorn.
good,
Thank
good
you,
giveaway. It
Chris.
was a lot of popcorn. Yeah. So
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so it was
So
fun.
there you
Yeah.
go. There you go.
Leave that there.
Yeah, there you go. Let's see who else is here with us tonight. Again, the woke breaker, breaking all the wokeness out there. Yeah, if there's wokeness out there, I want it broken, buddy.
Yep.
So
Yep.
it's good to see you, man. Polyme's Minion and Pupper. Good to see you
Hey.
there. Of course, she with Simi, her doggy, who is the official Clobberin Times doggy. Moscow.
Yeah.
Let's see where we at.
We got to
who else is
upload
here?
that. We got to upload that truck
Yeah, we
dog
need to get
approved.
We got to get that truck dog approved
Yeah.
picture. And that's about. Well, any other friends who pop in later or who hear this on the replay, thank you all so much. We'll acknowledge anyone that comes in. So, some of you may be aware, a new movie came out this week, and it's called Dangerous Liaisons. No.
Well, that's a good
That one.
movie. Dangerous
Is it?
Liaisons.
Come on, really?
Yeah.
I know Raquel loves it. But
Oh,
you're
that
a
was a
guy.
good movie. Yeah. Come on, Uma Thurman. Who are you kidding?
Oh, this was it right here. Strange multiple Doctor Madnesses in the. No, sorry. Madness of Multiverse in the Strange Doctor. I'm getting it. Well, it was all jumbly and mixed up, so I don't know. It's coming. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Sam Raimi's Madness. Something like that. New film that is out, of course, by the MC/CU. And we decided, since they were going to go all to that trouble and actually make the film and everything, we might as well go all that trouble and watch it. And we did. And I'm here to tell you now, it sucks. Good night. No, it's kidding. No, not really. I'm just kidding. Everyone else keeps saying that. This movie's getting, getting a lot of hate out there. I'm here to disappoint you tonight because I know this is going to be disappointing. I didn't hate it. I mean, I'm not in love with it or anything, but I didn't hate it. But that said, I'm going to start with our guests, J-Man and Sean. And the J-Man, we're going to start with just initial overall reactions, and we'll move along from that. But your basic take on Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Mad Guys.
And no spoilers, right?
Oh, we're going to spoil the hell out of it later.
Oh, later on, right? But we'll give okay.
Yes.
Well, okay. So I didn't listen to anyone's reviews or anything like that. I just kind of go in as I always do. And I think after so many disappointments of the Marvel shows, which I thought were like absolute garbage, and I just finished Moon Knight's garbage after the garbage Eternals and Black Widow and all these garbage MCU movies, I was kind of down. But I don't know.
Me too.
I loved this movie, man. I loved it. I don't know. I don't know if I'm in the minority in the four of us in my love for it, but I'm close to proposing to it. I'm not married to it yet, but like I was thinking about proposing. Like, guys, I don't know what everyone else saw, but I saw like a lot of action, a lot of creatures, a lot of fantastical spells, like all the things that I hate in other movies where I'm like, the hero never does any spells. It's like they never do anything. They're never in costume. It's like
J-Man's in love.
Yeah, I don't have that one, but I've got a few. They're off screen. I don't have that one though.
Nice, I got that one.
Yeah, but they're in their costumes all the time, and they're always using magic. Everyone who has magic is using it. They're not just walking around talking nonsensically. There's literally magic at all times. There's so many creatures. There's a lot of excitement. It's only 2 hours. It's not 3 hours or 2.5.
Right.
It's 2 hours. It gets going. The first 20 minutes is all action. There's a couple, we'll get into it. There's a couple of story elements that you can ding this for. But when it comes down to it, usually I go by hero, villain, story. And that's sort of my order for superhero movies. And the hero was awesome. It is about Doctor Strange. He does a lot. He's in it the whole movie.
Yes.
The villain, which I guess I won't say who the villain is because I guess that could be a spoiler.
Well, are we doing? We kind of have to do spoilers eventually, I guess.
We're going to do
have
spoilers.
to, yeah.
Yeah.
The villain was awesome.
You can say it's
me.
Wanda. Everyone knows
It's
it's
Wanda.
around
Okay,
here.
so Wanda's the villain. And I don't think like Wanda is from the comics, and she turned bad in the comics. And I love Wanda, and she was the proper Scarlet Witch. She's always floating around doing magic. I mean, this movie is bonkers to me.
She looks kind of cute.
She looks
Campbell.
good.
Oh yeah.
Bruce, look, it's Evil Dead 2 mixed.
It
It's
is.
Evil Dead 2 mixed with
Hey,
MCU.
Raimi even put his car in this one again.
I saw the
The
Oldsmobile.
car
It's
is
floating
in.
around.
You
It's
saw that?
floating around.
So, Sean, what about you? Initial reaction?
I went into this movie thinking it was going to be ill-conceived crap because I read all the spoilers and I was like, I don't know how they're going to make this work. That's what I do. J-Man knows I spoil things for myself.
24 hours, we're walking into the theater. He's like, I read all the spoilers. I'm like, we're literally walking in right now.
I did the same thing.
No, but the thing, I want to see if I'm going to get mad or not, right? So I was like, you know what? I don't know if I want to watch this. I thought this movie was awesome. I don't know, man. I'm sorry, some people on the chat, but like this, it's like, as J-Man said, it's wicked action. There's a lot of good inventiveness and creativity in it. I love the creature in the beginning, how they dispatch that. Not the beginning, the second creature. From the second creature. There's so much going on in this movie. All the cool little gags and stuff with the magic, like someone sat down and probably picked out stuff from the comics or even just made up stuff to do for the magic spells and everything. Lots of different magic and stuff. Everyone's using their powers. Lots of creatures. A sort of relentless villain like through line and stuff. There's some nitpicks I had. I can probably reconcile them in my head. Like the rules of multiverse being introduced in this movie, but being trod on in the other ones. Like no one's dream walking in Spider-Man. But hey,
yeah,
I kind of get that. I kind of understand it perhaps in that world, but other things too, like Wanda. I always think the whole the whole being possessed by something is sort of a cheat, but whatever. But all in all, I thought this was a quickly paced, great action thing. And I appreciated that for once we finally got a Doctor Strange complete adventure that wasn't an origin, that wasn't a guest appearance in like 5 other movies. Now we have a full actual Doctor Strange movie where Doctor Strange figures out dilemmas and solves problems and is the man, basically. He's got like all the answers. He has to work towards them, but he's the hero, man. I thought this was pretty cool. Like, so I don't know, man. I thought it was awesome.
Sean. I've already proposed. It's over. The movie's accepted my proposal.
Wow.
You're out. You can't.
Hey, Glinzer and Stephen Ball, what's up, buddies?
Oh, Steve, what's going on,
Steve, man?
Good to see you there, buddy. Look, I watched Gary's show the day before I saw it, and he had the great Chris Gore on it. I love Gary and I love Chris Gore. And he said he let him tell everything that happened in the movie, and I was going to turn it off. They gave a spoiler warning, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not that excited about this movie. What the hell? If I was really excited, I might have turned it off. But I went ahead and listened to it, and I was like, oh, crap, I want to see that tomorrow. Oh, no, shit. And maybe that helped me. Maybe that prepared me. I mean, look, you can criticize the movie on some levels, but I think it's getting some unfair criticisms and many fair criticisms, which I share. But a lot of the things that they talked about, there are things that really aggravated me in the film. I did overall find it to be pretty entertaining and enjoyable. Now, the great chief engineer, Mark D., what are your initial thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I did my first reaction last night. I gave it like a B. I'd say like an 83, maybe like a B minus. So I did watch Gary's show, and I'd missed a spoiler alert. And normally I hate spoilers now. I'm the opposite of Sean. Like, I used to over spoil myself, and like the Phantom Menace, I knew like every scene in the damn movie and everything that was going on. It's like I'd much rather be surprised. And I guess I was doing work during the day, so I turned them off. Turn the sound off, and then I turn it on, and I hear. I guess we're gonna spoil away tonight, but I heard maybe we'll do a spoiler.
Tonight,
yeah. So spoiler alert, or I don't know if a banner spoiler alert, but I heard what happened to some Reed Richards and the the Illuminati that they had,
We'll talk
and
about that.
and a lot of things that they said, and kind of pissed me off in terms of I'm not gonna like this at all. It's gonna be a dumpster fire, and it's not. It's nowhere near Winter Soldier or Avengers, or it's a competent movie.
No.
It's I had fun. I got my big popcorn, had my M&Ms in them, stuff I shouldn't be eating because I should be dropping a few. But I enjoyed it. It was Marvel's got this formula, but I was expecting that America Chavez, quote unquote, would be, steal the show, or Moon Knight would be an example of that. If you wanted to get too sidetracked by that, but in this show, America Chavez has to be saved by Strange on multiple occasions, and they had a good relationship there. I thought she had some good screen charisma, and with Doctor Strange, and Christine, plays a pivotal role in the movie. But I didn't think, but it was a supportive role. I thought it was a nice, a nice way to do it. And of course, then you get the Raimi-isms when you get, Doctor Strange, zombie with, all the Evil Dead characters flying around him making a cloak. So there was some, cool scenes in this movie that I loved. Stuff that, I didn't like, or you could nitpick, but I didn't think it was overtly, political, or, women taking over. I mean, you have to have
more subtle than they usually are.
Yeah. But you have to have women as supporting characters, and you can't say you can't have women in it either. So I agree. I think some of the stuff I'm listening to, I'm like, I know everyone's obviously entitled, it's a cliche, entitled to your opinion, but I didn't see any of that stuff in the movie. I mean, you can argue maybe it's not a good movie, or things you didn't like, or or I've heard underwhelming, and that's all good. And maybe I expected more of that, that last 15 minutes, I thought, which kicked ass the most. I would have liked more of that, towards the rest of the movie, or there should have been more multiverses, or end up in the animated universe, right? When they end up as cartoons, there's this one line where they ended up there. Yeah. Doctor Strange's like, did we turn into paint at one point? And she's like, yes. So, they could have done universe. Some more, the paint, they could have gone to maybe like the animated universe, and then Professor X shows up with the X-Men, or I'm getting ahead of myself, but what I thought they should have had is more scenes where, like, when that Illuminati got knocked off, instead of killing them, have them flip to another universe and go through and have like a fight going through the multiverses, maybe, where you don't necessarily kill the characters, but see more multiverses. That's what I would have done. But Marvel never hired me, so. And you, Clobberin Times, who you have the rights to the Fantastic Four, so.
That's true. I own the Fantastic Four. A lot of people don't know that, but I own them. So there you go. Look, this is, first of all, one of the things I keep hearing that I just cannot buy into is that it's not a Doctor Strange movie, that it's an America Chavez movie, and that it's especially a Wanda movie. No, Wanda is in it, but she's the villain. The big bad is often going to be in it. Now, one person said something pretty interesting that said it's almost like, this is what the last two, they should have had 2 more episodes of WandaVision tacked on, and it should have been this. I can buy into that because Wanda is big in the film. She's also, her motivations really aggravate me. But then again, look, I've always been very critical of the Darker Than Scarlet stuff with Wanda, with John Byrne doing a rehash of Dark Phoenix just a few years after Dark Phoenix. I always thought that was kind of lame. I didn't really like her as a villain that much. But that's just the reality. She has been used as one in comics many, many times. So all the villain stuff done with Wanda in this film, there's precedent from comic books for it. So you can't just say, it's MCU. Well, it is MCU in a lot of ways, but that's from comic books. So they bring her in, but they could have used, look, I would have preferred a couple of different Doctor Strange villains I would have preferred to see. I don't like Wanda being a villain that much, and I didn't like WandaVision at all. But that said, okay, she's there. I like Elizabeth Olsen fine, but she doesn't, the movie's not all about her. It does deal with her story. You could make the case that, they didn't finish her story with WandaVision. They just put it in this Doctor Strange movie. Fair enough. I don't think they should have done that. I think that was not particularly the best call to make, but she still does a pretty good job as a villain in this thing. Her motivations are really weak, and you can tear them to pieces because all the stuff about defending her fantasy babies and children and stuff, some of that stuff was really annoying to me and very cringy. All that said, I think Raimi, definitely, you can see where Raimi wanted to make a Doctor Strange adventure outside of, as Sean was mentioning, outside of doing an origin story. He wanted to have just an out there, crazy Doctor Strange adventure, which you would expect, that is very visual, that is very him fighting monsters and stuff, going into other dimensions, all the crazy stuff that Doctor Strange does, not in someone else's film for a change, not even in the Defenders, like he would have to bring in a bunch of superheroes, pretty much just him. America is not, whatever. I know she's crappy in the comics. I know they added some agenda bits here and there because this is 2022 with her 2 moms and all this other kind of crap stuff like that. It doesn't destroy the film or even the character in this case. She's there. She's learning from him the whole time. She respects him. He's trying to save her the whole time. He is heroic. There are definitely problems with his character. Look, if you want to talk about damaging Doctor Strange's character, blame Spider-Man No Way Home, because that movie's built on a premise of Doctor Strange doing something stupid and irresponsible. Now, that wasn't the fault of this movie by Sam Raimi. That was the previous film that everyone loved so much. And then you're coming off of him doing really something idiotic in that movie that set up their whole damn film.
Wong actually makes fun of him in that Spider-Man
Wong
movie.
made fun of him in that
and he was also kind of acted like a jerk to him too.
I hate that. I hate when they make fun of the movie.
I didn't like that scene.
The hero and stuff. That doesn't happen here.
But this movie is yes. I didn't like some stuff about saying that all the other Doctor Stranges are bad and you're going to be bad too. But he did overcome that. The Doctor Strange, this movie deals, and this is another thing I kind of liked about it. After I watched the original film again the other night, which I really liked, the first one. This one picks up some of this is 6 years later. They made us wait 6 years for him to get his own film, which is too long. But it does pick up in accordance with being a fairly decent follow-up to his original solo adventure, which I like. And this movie stays committed to being exciting, being very visual, having Doctor Strange all throughout it. Sure, you got other people in there. I mean, I don't know what you want. I don't know why that's such a bad thing. But my biggest problem, and I'm going to give my biggest complaint, it's going to be very spoilery, and then I'm going to go to everybody else because I'm going to give you the one thing I hated most. I understand a lot of criticisms about this film. There's some really, and some almost incoherent bits toward the end of the film they're fun but don't make a whole lot of sense in terms of story narrative. Here's why I hate the cameo crap. It was just there for shock value. It was just there to get a few claps because we got some claps. I had 30 people in the theater I was with, but people were clapping.
Clap?
No, I didn't. But people clapped for Reed Richards. That guy's fine, I guess, as Reed Richards. I don't like the Illuminati. I don't like any of that shit from Marvel anyway. And it's a lame-ass Illuminati in this film.
Yeah,
okay, here's some of the legitimate gripes that people have made about the MCU shit in the movie. Black Bolt looks great. I mean, it was cool to see him in this costume, and she kills him like a punk bitch. And the idiots who wrote this movie, I'm sorry, Sam, or whoever did this, you don't understand how Black Bolt's powers work. And then worse, the way she kills Reed Richards, both of them get killed like punk bitches. There's nothing to them. That was bullshit. And then the two women, of course, give her a fight. I don't look, Agent, Captain Carter.
Yeah, but she couldn't do it all day though.
Yeah, she couldn't do it all day, but she did.
She could do it for half a day.
And then,
come on!
I hated that. She did it for half a day. And so then, of course, but the two chicks give her a good fight. Which again, in one level, I know Captain Marvel's powerful.
She's the most powerful.
Again, it was just that's why they were just thrown in there to get slaughtered. They were just Immortal didn't even get killed, which is one thing. Then you killed Professor X. That whole bit could have been cut out. Get rid of all that shit. I hate that every bit of that cameo shit, and it really took me out of the movie for a while. Then after that, we kind of got back into seeing Doctor Strange being the movie back about him again. So that's a part of the movie that takes me out of it. So that's why I don't contest Sean's right to ask it to marry him, because I won't get in his way. I'm just not jealous of him because the movie's tainted for that stuff. Aside from that, the woke crap, the MCU shit in there is at least more subtle than it is in Moon Knight and some of the other crap that we've gotten recently from the Marvel TV shows. So much so, I think that shows that Raimi was more interested in just trying to tell an outrageous Doctor Strange adventure. And I respect the movie for that. Again, it's very visual. It's a decent story that is not particularly told all that well. I think but they reshot a lot of things from what we're being told. But I just don't see all the like I say, criticisms I see, the hatred and people talking about this like it's the most. I don't know how you can talk about this film this way if you've seen Eternals or Shang-Chi or Black Widow. Those are far more with the woke bullshit. Far more. And it's not even close.
You're right.
So
I think sometimes people, I don't want to, you get in like an echo chamber where everyone, and I love hearing different opinions. So, I think sometimes it's more fun to pick on things. I'm not saying that there aren't valid criticisms of this movie, but sometimes it's, when I saw, Shang-Chi, I'm like, well, no, it's not the Shang-Chi from the comics, but I had fun time seeing the movie. I thought that bus scene was amazing. And there were some good things. Obviously,
I hate
some
that movie.
flaws
with
in.
passion.
I know, but there was
I didn't mind it.
I
I liked it.
I enjoyed it, and yeah, I could see I could see the criticisms in the movie and certain things, but it wasn't I didn't think it was a total disaster like the Eternals. At least I enjoyed watching some of the fight scenes, and I thought the stuff with Ben Kingsley was fun, and that creature and explaining the Mandalorian. I know people hate that, but I assume that's what they were doing with the Mandalorian when I saw Iron Man 3 and
Mandarin.
You mean the
Mandarin.
Mandarin?
Yeah.
Too many mans.
There may be a crossover coming soon, though.
Yeah, you never know. It's about Disney now, right?
Look,
But
if you hated this film and it's honest, I have no problem with it.
Yeah.
I just think that if you hate it because it did a bad job telling its story, or it you didn't care for the story, to say it's not a Doctor Strange movie that's disingenuous. I don't know what movie you saw. Again, I love you, but I don't know what movie you saw. It definitely is about him, and he's not a big pusswad in the movie. He's learning in it. He makes his mistakes. He's a flawed character who is continually saving what's her name, America Chavez. And yes, it's true. Wanda kind of defeats herself at the end. But hey, Wanda's a superhero that we're all supposed to love. We want her to have a redemption, don't we?
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, it is about Doctor Strange, and Wanda's a character from comics. She's not made up to be a woke character or to insert diversity. She's from comics from a while ago. It's not, and she's been in other MCU movies. They didn't just rip her out of nowhere, shove her in, and make her the villain. I mean, every Batman movie, 89, Returns, Forever, whatever, it's always the villains. Joker, Jack Nicholson overtook that entire movie.
It started the whole trend.
It started this whole thing. Right. Yeah, good point. It's it's all to me, General Zod is awesome. It's all these villains
he's a glam rock V-neck.
No. I love Zod. But yeah, it's not like they're just inserting random characters. When they did it with Falcon and Winter Soldier, that was the worst MCU show, I think. Is there a worse one? That's probably my worst one. Moon Knight's pretty bad, but
Falcon and the Soldier might be my worst.
I think it's the worst for me.
Yeah, I would say the woke stuff doesn't really overshadow the movie like it does. It in Eternals, it compromises the film.
Yes.
Because the very premise of the movie is compromised. So why is this one deaf? So why is this one? It's if these guys are the basis for mythology, why they're all white in mythology,
right?
But dude's Chinese and dude's this. It's it doesn't make sense. Whereas here it's it's the two moms and the two women giving Scarlet Witch a fight. I would argue that Professor X did too, but some of the wokeisms here don't really compromise the overall film and story, and even Doctor Strange himself. Doctor Strange is still the expert. He's still the man in this movie. So
my interpretation of that, and Clubby, my negative is sort of what you were saying with your thing. But my interpretation of that was that she took out the most powerful people first to get them out of the way. I almost had I'm like, oh shit, yeah, you got to kill Black Bolt instantaneously because you're dead if he's out of it. And then
I don't think she could kill Black Bolt.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
It's that's the.
Remember that scene where they show Black Bolt killing one of the other Doctor Stranges, and since when can he use his power that way?
Yeah.
But that's a geek nitpick.
Yeah.
They would probably cheat and tell you, "Oh, it's another universe, though." So this
there is that cheat. There is that cheat, and that is the cheat. So it's
that's not a woke thing. That's just a geek thing that sucks.
It's also a lazy writing thing. It's I don't like the Illuminati in the comics, so I don't like them putting them here, and I never liked the incursion bullshit in the comics.
Yeah,
I never liked it because it wasn't fun anymore. It was these characters, the Illuminati, would judge each world that comes into their airspace and blow it up, and they're killing billions of people every week or whatever. I was like, well, where are you going with this? I hated that, and that's coming now to MCU, I guess. But
yes,
but Sam Raimi, so obviously Raimi was forced. There's got to be decisions made at the head office where Sam Raimi's like, I have to put this stuff in. You know what I mean? It's he made the most
that's
he could have
put in. Yeah,
right, exactly.
And
Sam Raimi did
Bruce
the most
Campbell
he
even
could.
said. They keep telling him to put things in, take things out, and stuff like that. So yeah, that's obviously something they told him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he did the best he could possibly do with the within the confines of what the head office wants, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he still did a lot. And if we look at Eternals, which has a lot of woke stuff and silly stuff, which doesn't make sense, and then on top of that, it's a boring movie with really garbage characters and bad action. This movie has minor woke elements with goddamn tons of action, magic all the time, monsters, explosions. It's wall to wall. So I'll take that.
Jim's talk. Yeah.
You know, like, and at least it's like, and I gotta say, I liked America Chavez. I thought I would hate her in this movie. And you know what? She was really cool. She looked up to Strange and literally she worshipped Doctor Strange. She doesn't save him or whatever. It's like she literally needs him. She's like, please help me.
And he helps her use her power.
And he helped
at the end.
Right at the end.
You know what I liked at the end is Doctor Strange proves that he's the better Sorcerer Supreme than Wong, because Wong yells at him to take her power. There's no other choice now, and he comes up with a better solution to basically empower her to, you know what, we're trying to take your power because you can't use it properly. You know how to do this. It's like, just, you know, concentrate and figure it out. And then she's like, yeah, and then she does it. And it's like, that's always been the solution all along. My only gripe with that is it ties back to the ridiculous Christine bullshit where she's like, you always want to carry the scalpel and all that stuff, which is supposed to be a flaw, but A, it's never shown in the other movies or this movie, and B, it's not a flaw. But in the end, he empowers America Chavez to take control of her own abilities, and she does that. But I was taken aback by the idea that he came up with a better idea than Wong. Wong is like yelling at him, going like, you know, take your powers. That's all we can do now. You know. Yeah.
And Wong is, I know they're saying he's a Sorcerer Supreme, but they literally said it's a technicality. Everybody knows.
Everyone knows Doctor Strange is the dude. Yeah.
There's no point in getting upset.
You see it in that temple like, too.
Yeah. And even though you're right, they didn't show it, but it's still said. I mean, it's you need to show, not tell, but at least they told, right?
Yeah.
They didn't. At least it's said.
Christine is the worst. Listen. I forgot she was even in part 1 until that what if thing happened. It's Rachel McAdams, right? And I was like, why are they making a big deal about this character? Was she even in part 1? Like, what is this? I don't remember him pining for anyone in part 1. She's never mentioned in Ragnarok or the Avengers movies that Doctor Strange is in, like any of the Doctor Strange appearances in Spider-Man. So I was like, why are we going back to he's boo-hooing about this girl? Is he 15? Like, what is this? That whole thing can kiss my ass. I don't understand why it's back. I don't know why it was even in part 1 to begin with. I don't even remember. It's zero impact. To call back to that in such a big way that he's boo-hooing over this girl. Stuff. Yeah, it's stupid. And then she berates someone stuff like, "Oh, you suck" and everything. And I swear to God, even the audience was groaning, because it's like, who is this? Like, we haven't seen these flaws that she's berating him for. So who is this woman? And when he's saving everyone from that eye monster in the beginning, she like shakes her head and, you know, well, someone's got to do it, woman. I don't know what you want here. You know, what a terrible character. No one is shipping Christine and Doctor Strange. So why is this happening in this movie?
I'll take. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing. Clea's supposed to be his damn, which his damn girlfriend anyway. Later, she should have. I'd have actually put her in this film first instead of it's at the end, because I'd rather see Clea and meet Doctor Strange as a part of a story rather than having Christina. You know, I like Rachel McAdams. I think she's a cutie though. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm with you there, Connor. It does get a little old. And yes, I hated it when they called that the 616 universe. The MCU is not 616. The comic book universe is.
Yeah, but you know. But they're saying this is the real Marvel, right? They've been saying that for a while. They changed all the comic characters in the opening Marvel logo to all the movie characters, and that's when I was like, you know what, we've lost.
That's right.
You know,
it's all downhill from here.
Yeah.
And look, I'm not denying everyone that Kevin Feige, who I can't stand, has his fingerprints all over this film because he's the boss. Okay, Sam Raimi, if he didn't want to get, you know, caught up in another corporate web, if you'll pardon the pun, because he shouldn't have done the film, but he did, and he still put his Sam Raimi heart into it. I think he wanted him. I mean, they may have made him shoot some stuff, I guess, but all the action and all the character stuff with Doctor Strange, for me is pure Sam Raimi. He wanted to make it about the hero. He did. He wanted to make it, wall to wall, crazy visual Doctor Strange type action that you would see from a comic book. He did that. Those are my favorite things about the film. There was some great. This is a guy that respects Ditko and all these other Doctors. And the fact that a Doctor Strange comic book is very visual, and so should a movie be. And he, it's. Yeah, at the beginning he starts out with this little pining for what's her name. That didn't bother me that much at the wedding, going to her wedding. I knew he was still just having some regret for her, but at least it was relatively brief, I would say. Sean, Phantom Outsider, good to see you, buddy. Sean, I would say at least they did. It was there, and it was actually kind of funny little scene where he meets that silly old doctor from the first film, and they both were dust apparently, and that led to a bit of a comedic moment for Strange. And then right there from get-go, boom, the action starts.
Yeah.
It's one after another.
Moon Knight would have made you wait five hours for something to happen. With Doctor Strange, bad stuff happens.
And you would have gotten a female hero at the end, too.
Something bad's happening in the city, and he becomes superhero Doctor Strange right away. I thought that was pretty cool.
That was a cool scene when he jumps off the balcony.
I loved it.
You married the wrong guy.
Yeah, even the husband likes Doctor Strange, though. He was like, yeah.
The one thing I thought that was.
Thanks a lot, man. You don't have to. You can leave your Doctor Strange hate here anytime you want, man.
We love hearing different opinions.
Yeah, your Doctor Strange. If you have such hate, it's welcome here anytime. You should know that.
Yeah, and I always love hearing what people don't like about a movie, or then then you kind of learn, you learn new things, and hear different opinions. Yep.
Mr. Greg Gregory, what's up, buddy? Good to see you.
I watched this twice today, so the 78 movie.
That's on Blu-ray.
Yeah,
it just came out. Yeah,
that's the 1978 TV. For those who don't know what Sean has there, that's the 1978 pilot with Peter Hooten or whatever. Horton.
Yeah.
Hooten? Is it Hooten?
Yeah, I think so. Hooten.
Yeah. I haven't watched that since about 1978, probably.
You gotta pre-order it.
I gotta get that.
It was limited to 1,500. I think it was only 1,500 copies.
Yeah, it was on Shout Factory.
Oh shit, Shout Factory! I gotta get that.
Well,
I gotta go get it then. Yeah, I'm going right now. Shout Factory.
It's got commentary and everything.
Oh my god!
How's the video look on it? Is it good quality?
Good copy?
It's TV. Another bot.
It's
we got you.
Yeah, it looks better than I have bootlegs. It looks better than those. So
no, but I mean, it wasn't shot in HD. Obviously, it's 4:3, but
no, I think sometimes it's still standard definition.
It's still SD, not because old TV shows were often shot on film, so they can upscale. Like Star Trek was upscaled to 4, where they put it out in 4K because the film quality. But some shows, like, not that it matters, like Bosom Buddies is shot on videotape. So
Bosom Buddies.
They can never do it on it's a shame, because they're showing some old Tom Hanks clips and when his co-star passed away, and they're like, he was a great guy, the guy that played Kip.
Yeah.
But they couldn't. They're like, sorry for the quality, because they did the show on videotape. Yeah. But
man, I can't miss this so long since I've seen that damn thing.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Wow.
I doubt it'll sell out.
I used to think it was the best Marvel TV thing.
Me too.
Oh my god!
That's the best one, perhaps. Yeah.
I like Captain America with the shield in the front of his motorcycle.
Yeah, Red Brown. Yeah.
Well, Red Brown is a great guy. Red Brown really embraces that Captain America stuff. He's like all over the cons and stuff, and he goes to the cons and everything.
That was fun. Yeah, no, that was good stuff. Yeah.
I remember eating Kraft dinner and watching and running home and eating Kraft dinner and watching Captain America. I'm like, wow, this is
you're obviously Canadian when you say Kraft dinner, right? I've learned that about Canadians. Yeah, it's Kraft dinner.
We consume. Yeah, that was on South Park. Terrence and Phillip consume the most Kraft dinner out of any.
I didn't know that was a stereotype, but I guess it is.
Yeah. It is.
Do you ever put anything in your Kraft dinner? Do you put sausage or chicken,
I don't understand people that put
nothing. No meats in it. It's just the KD and that's it.
Yeah.
You like the white one or it's got to be the yellow. It's got to be
the yellow. I have made a beef bourguignon version where I put beef chunks in it. And,
Kraft dinner.
I didn't like it, so I went back to just Kraft dinner.
Yeah.
I
say
use
it-
cream though instead of milk. I use cream and butter.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
That's the way I make it too. Yeah.
You know, some scenes that stand out for me that I haven't heard anyone talk about much. Everyone's all talking about different problems with the film. I thought there was some really clever, very, very Sam Raimi moments. Like later when he's having the fight, I forgot who was he fighting in that house where they were using the musical notes.
Notes, yeah.
It was
That
the
was
Third
cool.
Eye
It was the
Strange. or
Third Eye
whatever.
Strange. That was really clever.
That's cool.
That was a fun scene. That was pure Sam Raimi. The man is as nuts. He's a nutty type of just fun type of visual style. He always has. And well, again, I thought I guess I'm blind. We just went to a normal theater. I didn't watch any IMAX and that kind of crap. And it all looked fine and fantastic to me. People always say, "Oh, CGI was terrible. The green alien screen was terrible." I mean, look, you guys have better eyes than me, so you could be right. I mean, but what I saw looked pretty damn cool. And again, yeah, you said same as you. I mean,
Well, we
maybe you're
saw
blind
it in
too.
3D.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
And
They
normally
still have
3D is
3D
garbage.
movies?
I hate 3D.
I hate 3D, but I don't know, Sean, we didn't talk about this. I hate 3D, but for some reason, this one was very clear and very vibrant. I don't know why.
Yeah, they really boosted
IMAX
the
3D?
color.
IMAX
So, yeah.
3D, yeah. And I
IMAX
hate
3D was always better when I went to see it, but I haven't seen a 3D movie in years. I didn't even know they still.
We were
I don't
surprised
know.
this was 3D. It's like, I guess it's coming back because, like, I was like, I guess the 3D died. Hip hip hooray! Because
Well,
Yeah, but
Avatar's
3D,
coming
right?
back now, so
Hmm.
maybe
Yeah. Yeah, I
Maybe they're
groaned
gearing up
too.
for
They
that.
scan the tickets because I always buy the tickets for me, Steve, and Sean. And then so they're all on my phone, and I'm like, "Is this 3D?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh," and, and she's like, "Okay, sorry." I'm like, "Okay, no, I'm not."
Yeah, they
I'm
have
not
the
angry.
glasses and all that stuff.
Yeah, but they're like they're really the fat glasses, so they can go on top
The
of my glasses.
Doc Ock glasses. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like huge.
Nice.
It's like they're huge.
Good.
Did you
Like
did
my-
you catch the Living Tribunal?
Yeah. Oh man, I
When was
screamed
the
in the
living-
theater.
where was the Living Tribunal? I missed
I
that.
think when they first go through
was
all those universes
in one of the
with,
montages.
yeah, and it's the
Yeah.
very first one, I think. But yeah, it's a live action Living Tribunal, dude. It's like a second. But
Yeah, it's
I,
like
listen, I
missed it.
screamed out loud. I was like, "Living Tribunal!" and no
Yeah.
one reacted. I'm like, "Okay, fine, guys, don't-
Yeah, no
don't-
one knows
Don't
that.
don't react. Fine."
Yeah.
I mentioned it already, but I laughed my ass off when I saw Sam Raimi's car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He puts it in every movie.
Yep.
And,
And
that
the-
was
the
cool.
The opening of the movie was cool too. I mean, everyone was saying, the other versions of Strange were evil or not that good, but I mean, the first Doctor Strange you run into, we're into spoilers here, so at first you say, "Oh, well, Strange looks a little funny. It doesn't look exact,"
Yeah, the
then you realize
ponytail
it's an
crap,
alternative universe. And the costume's a little bit different color, and he tells Chavez, the only way to stop this person, or you don't know it's Wanda at that point, stop them is for me to take your powers. And but in the end, he actually sacrifices. He's the demon put something to his stomach. He's got something to his leg, and he's fighting. That's the last resort. And in the end, he sacrifices himself instead of maybe casting another spell. He frees Chavez to get to another dimension. So even in that moment, maybe made the tough decision. And Wong actually makes that decision in the ultimate
Yeah.
climax of the movie. He says, take her powers. So Wong
Yeah.
has even, decides at that point, because, Wanda's, one of the most powerful beings in the Marvel universe, and her character, the powers fluctuated. She's been evil if you've read the comics, and, she's gone through many different, I shouldn't say iterations, but phases of her character. So, that fits in with the comics, that she could be that powerful. And they've made that in the Marvel universe. They said Thanos was actually, scared of her, right, at one point, or said that's the one that, he had the most worry about, I think,
Yeah.
in that end fight. And I thought she had some gravitas, and, when she said, "Oh, I had to squash, my husband's head, or explode my husband's head, or you haven't felt the pain that I felt," and there's some
Yeah.
good dramatic
That's another
moments
thing,
with
though.
that.
The Vision should have been in the movie.
Yeah, Vision
Yeah.
should have been there. They probably
For
save
sure.
save money, or I was waiting for him to swoop in the end.
Unless they cut him out.
Like cut him out, or maybe they wanted her to find her way on her own. That was more of a redemptive arc.
Yeah,
But that's
could
what
be.
bugged me the most about WandaVision, was that she had no punishment at the end of that. I mean, she tortured that town, and
Right.
they kind of just let her, fly off. And it's like, well, wait a minute. And now she's a murderer too. I mean, she's not only just tortured people after this, movie.
Yeah, but the
She's
Dark
actually
Hold
having
had a lot to do with that, though.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
that when you're watching it, you're like, wow, she's knocking people off left and right in that fight scene. So I thought
Yeah,
that,
so
I
there's
thought that was well
temptation, but
done.
there's also choice, right? To
Right.
act on that temptation. So I don't know.
Well,
That's a
but
good point there,
she was
Steven. They
already
go to
messed up.
Wanda.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was waiting for the
high.
high evolutionary too. I'm like high evolutionary.
Oh my god!
Well,
Yeah,
that's
once
where-
the-
so-
yeah, me too.
Are they still born there in current continuity? I don't know anymore where they're at in Marvel.
In
Well, I don't either.
MCU or in Marvel?
Marvel.
Oh
Marvel
my god,
Comics,
there's so
no.
many going
Yeah.
back and forth. I literally have no. I literally can't. And I'm actually reading all this crap, and I can't keep track of it myself.
Because
So I just ignore
it is a part of Scarlet Witch's history. So Wonder
Yep.
Woman.
Yeah.
Keely
I
Chow,
only go by
Roll
West
Tide.
Coast.
Yeah.
If it was in
Yeah.
West Coast Avengers, that's my comic. I love West Coast. That's what I count. If it's in
Well,
West Coast, that's what I'm counting.
Well, that's where Vision was. He was on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so close. I just want the White Vision, and I just want West Coast Avengers.
Right.
I'm so close.
Would have killed them
Yeah.
to show them. Would have
Yeah.
killed them to have Vision. And matter of fact, one of the story elements they should have done is when they're really getting down to crunch time and they need help, Doctor Strange go and find Vision and bring him there
Yeah.
at the end. That would have been what I would have liked to see.
If,
Vision should have been
if White Vision had appeared in this movie, I'd say
Yeah.
it's 10 out of 10. It'd be my favorite Marvel movie, and I don't care who I'd
We love
find
White
out.
Vision.
White Vision is like the greatest
I
thing
never liked
ever.
it much, but
Yeah,
I
it was
knew
our
you would- I
vision
knew
when
you
we
would
got
like
into
it.
comics. So yeah.
Well, I have his
what-
first appearance. Like just
Me
keep
too.
appearing and keep going up in value, right?
Yeah. Yeah, come on. Yeah.
Oh,
It's like I got first appearance of some X-Men guys. I'm like, come on, X-Men. It's like just announce that
no,
movie.
it's
Lucky Collector.
I don't know if it's happening.
Oh, I found
They're from a long time ago. They're rotting away in my basement. So yeah.
Well, I found Warrior #1 in my basement, 1, 2, and
oh my
3.
God,
And I didn't.
I can't
I
believe
didn't even
they
know it
showed
was
those the
there.
other night. Jesus, dude. Those are, for those who don't know, those are British mags. They were the actual first appearances of Marvel Man and V for Vendetta by Alan Moore.
Oh,
And
wow.
I have some of those, but unreal.
Oh, that's really
So
cool.
I found that in the basement. I don't know. And I think my wife thinks she found
Quality,
these at a
quality
magazines. Tag sale for me. So and she
Oh,
wanted to, I'm
man.
like, well, I found some things that might be valuable in the
I
basement.
still have a
I'm
bunch
like,
of
I
those.
don't want to tell her. Yeah, so 1, 2, and
Yeah, damn you.
1, 2, and 3. And I was looking for something for the Star Trek, stuff on Cloudy's Clubhouse, and I was like, I had these all together, and it wasn't even in a good bag. It was a bag with holes in it. Like,
Yeah, you found
could
some mag
breathe.
bags.
I found some mag bags. They just
They
fit.
barely fit because those are bigger
They
than
barely
magazines.
fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they barely fit the top. I got to find.
They-
I'm gonna buy some backing boards and cut them.
I'm gonna try to find you
How do
some,
they fit?
some Treasury Edition bags and boards, but they're not easy to find anymore. I'm almost out.
Yeah, I
Of
was looking for them. I can't find them anywhere.
those
yeah.
are tough to get. If you have a Treasury Edition collection, good luck getting the bags and boards.
Good luck. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I have maybe like 2 or 3 left, if that. So
I just do the
Keep 'em out.
back, like I just do 2, like I put blend back to back into one bag.
Okay,
I'm
yeah,
saying?
you
I
can
guess
tape
you
them
could do
together,
that, yeah,
right?
but I like having the board, for
Yeah.
those.
Yeah,
Because they did make them at one point, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's pretty simple. This movie, I think you can make a case, has a lot of narrative problems. Could have been a definitely better told story. There are things in it I don't like, and I do acknowledge the woke shit in there that I don't like, but it's nowhere near as bad where it damages the movie the way other movies it does for me. And it doesn't mean I like it. I don't like it. And when you point even the smallest speck of it out, I'm with you. It sucks. It's stupid. But let's face it. Here's the thing. My problem with some of that. Okay, it's true that that's in a lot of movies, especially now. What's not true is the people who act like it only started in 2016. Okay, Hollywood's been doing this crap for a long, long time. It's just now they're doing it with with a bunch of no talent hacks that can't even give you a movie that'll make you go, I still like it. I mean, because I can't tell how many times older, way before that, I'd see a movie that I really like, and yes, I go, oh, they put that shit in there. Oh, they said it.
Yeah.
I love it. What the hell? I had to compartmentalize it because you got to live with it. And I still like the movie, and still like the movie, or still like the comic, or still like the TV show, whatever. You learn how to compartmentalize, but they've been doing this for a long time. But some people now are just they freak out and they're acting like this started in 2016 with who. And that's not the case. It's just that they got lesser creators now and they make something that not only is filled with it and it's not subtle anymore a lot of times, and it's also not very good anyway. And that adds up and it becomes more of a problem, i.e., Eternals, Shang-Chi, Black Widow, you name. Just to stick with the MCU for a second. But in this film, it's there, and you can probably name a lot of legit spots where it's there, but more in a subtle way, and it doesn't really take me out of the movie like sometimes, which happens sometimes. And the movie is entertaining enough on enough levels for me to like it. Okay, I think it's an all right movie, an okay movie, and fairly entertaining, and for me to like bits of it. I don't get the vitriol being launched at it. Hello there, Muslim Uncle. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Muslim Uncle. Yeah, that I don't understand too. Is like, did I watch the same movie? I mean,
yeah.
I mean, it was it was one thing to disagree over certain things, and but like just say I mean, it's not a horrible movie. It's not a Turtles level bad. I mean, it's definitely a watchable movie. Now, whether or not there's definitely scenes that ticked me off. I mean, Mr. Fantastic, to get into that whole scene. If that's the Baxter Building, they should have had some amazing defenses there. That's my niece's dog. Yep. So Willie. Yep, he's a pool. Yep, come here, Willie.
Hey, he's gonna try to eat.
We're a doggy. That always increases the.
Interested in the popcorn there. Yeah.
Yeah, he eats everything. We haven't had a dog for a few years, so he's going in all the garbage pails. He's going in to eat everything. There's no food left on the floor, which is good. Hey, Willie.
Oh shit!
He's named after Willie Nelson. So
poor puppy just wants some
he's
popcorn.
a cute pupper. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to give him popcorn. But yeah, I'd be a bad babysitter. Yep. So if that's the Baxter Building, there was some amazing defenses there. They would have had all kinds of cool stuff. Then you should have seen the signal go out for the rest of the FF, to bring the Thing, and Johnny and Sue.
They just killed them, and I would have been even more.
And then what a revolting development that would have been. But
revolting development.
But they should have had more characters there, just like 4 or 5 guys. That battle should have gone on. If you're gonna do that, make that like a 15 or 20-minute battle, and then have Wanda. And then have Wanda flip to another dimension, maybe, and don't kill off our favorite characters. Like just how Chavez was able to open the portal, and then
injure them, and she gets away or something.
She gets away, but don't kill. I mean, I guess the Black Bolt, that's a Raimiism, I guess. But that was his funny way in that Twilight Zone. But that's Raimi. That when I saw that, I'm like, this has got to be Raimi here with the mouse.
Black Bolt's powerful. Black Bolt can slug it out.
You could knock down a mountain,
and it's not just the voice,
Hulk.
And the super strength too. Yeah.
Oh, and it's a shame because that guy,
that should have been a
long TV show was. He looked good in the outfit. The outfit costume looked good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was better in the show. Yeah.
Yeah. Where were the X-Men? The X-Men would show up. No, I think
the scene with some of them at least.
The scene with Professor X, so I hated the outcome. It kind of reminded me of how he got paralyzed in the first place with his fight with X-Men 94 or which I'm forgetting now. Whatever the issue is where he fights. J-Man's the X-Men expert here, I'm sure. But when they have that fight, so that. But I hated that outcome, or you got to give our villains our heroes the out.
I thought it was
Picard, yeah, or have him go to
the wrong TV show there. Sorry,
it's a guy could go to a cartoon world. Like, how cool would that have been to flip to a cartoon world for 5 minutes, and then you had the X-Men, the 97,
could have been the TV show, the
TV show
X-Men fighting. How cool would that have been? Come on, a minute.
They had the music though for a second.
Yeah, they had the music. Just do it. You flip through all those crazy worlds. I mean, maybe some of that stuff got cut or would cost him,
Yeah,
if you're going to go there, that's what I wanted from Raimi, like that extra.
Oh, you just pissed because they didn't have the Micronauts, dude.
Yeah. Yes, give me the Micronauts. Yeah.
They probably just tell you they're not the real characters, right?
Yes, they weren't the real characters.
But the thing is, I am baffled by them introducing Mr. Fantastic in this way and reintroducing Black Bolt. I mean, like, it's not an introduction because they made a show, but no one watched it, right? So,
yeah.
It's just weird to do that, because now when anyone associates Mr. Fantastic or the Fantastic Four, they'll associate it with this, like the mainstream audience and like people who are in their 20s and 30s. So it's weird. It's weird to me that they did this. I hate the Illuminati. I wanted them dead, but like I am baffled that they introduced characters in this way. It's straight,
No.
But like other Doctor
Agreed.
Stranges got killed too. Like who can like
Yeah,
I've got a different thing. Like look,
I know.
the
Are they
Illuminati stuff-
introduced in this though, or no? They're not.
For me, it's like the Illuminati to me were just jerks, and it's like
They were
kill
jerks, yeah.
these losers. And I was like, I don't know. Like to me, that wasn't the real Black Bolt. That wasn't the real Mr. Fantastic. To me, it
Right.
just shows like Wanda can beat any sort of
They're
character.
showing how powerful Wanda is.
Right,
Yeah.
and that's what you do with a villain. She annihilated all these other heroes. I didn't walk away thinking, oh, Fantastic Four is ruined in my mind. I'm like, wow, maybe they're going to get him now to be the real Mr. Fantastic in the proper.
They won't do that now.
World. So I mean, I don't know. Like,
No.
I didn't have a problem with. I love Black Bolt. I got like an Inhuman.
Marvel
thing
needs
back
to
here.
buy the rights of Rom. Just like do it.
Yeah,
Just like,
Buy Rom,
you have
damn
all
it.
this
And
money,
Micronaut.
you know.
They do. Well,
Yeah, because
they published
Raimi
the
wanted.
Rom
Raimi
too.
wanted
they
it.
don't
Oh
have
no, was it?
one.
No, it wasn't Raimi. It was Guardians of the Galaxy. They
Yeah,
wanted
James
to
Gunn
add
wanted
Rom.
to use Rom.
He wanted to use Rom, and they found out. He's like, "What do you mean we don't have the rights to Rom?"
No, it's like Milton Bradley or whoever.
Yeah, it was,
and
it was Hasbro.
Micronauts own the
Oliver
toy line
Valente.
characters are owned by Hasbro now.
Hasbro,
Is it
yeah.
Hasbro, yeah.
Hey, Oliver. Yeah. But we'll never get what we want, do we? You know, that's the thing. The only thing I really hated about them, like I said, I do agree with valid criticisms. Hey, D-Bud. Hope you're feeling well, man.
Nerds.
I do
How's it
agree
going?
with, hey, we're geeks. Don't tell that in front of Raquel. She's going to
Raquel.
correct you and call us geeks.
Yeah.
I agree with some of the valid criticisms about the woke crap and other things. The only thing in the movie I hate, because I think it's a pretty entertaining movie, other than that, is all that Illuminati crap. And it's just that whole scene can be wiped out from it, or redone. In other words, it could have been
I'll
done in a
direct
way
it with
where it
you.
works, but I don't like how it turned out. But aside from that, you got a pretty good Sam Raimi romp that is fun. I think its heart is in the right place because you got a hero in it. It's all about your titular character, unlike Blue Knight, which is 6 hours of crap that has nothing to do with the Moon Knight at all.
I didn't even
Like-
see episode 6 yet, but
Oh God,
it's
dude.
awful.
Well, it's
So
only
bad.
20 minutes or
my
30
night's
minutes.
planned, so whatever.
Dude.
Well,
okay,
good. I'd rather watch
we're-
that.
Worst line in the M's. Well, worst line in Marvel. It's like, are you an Egyptian superhero?
Oh God, yes, I am.
I can't. I literally like laughed out loud, and I'm like, okay, I'm going back to my phone.
But what
That's
is
a
Moon
gender
Knight?
swap, by the way.
But what is Moon Knight? Is it Moon Knight
Probably
an
an
Egyptian
Egyptian
superhero too?
superhero,
Right?
Yeah, I know, but like,
Dressed in
I don't know,
Egyptian
he's
garb. I
nothing.
mean,
I know, but she
dummy.
looks. It's like nobody would ever say that in the ever
Are
in
you
none
an
of the
Egyptian
multiverses.
Not
Nobody would
like
say
are
that.
you
line.
not like are you a superhero?
Yeah.
Maybe I can buy into that one a little bit, but
yeah.
are you an Egyptian super? What the?
Like, where did you
Why?
come up with that? Like, how did you even piece that?
Oh
That's like
my-
Sherlock
Well, I was
Holmes.
reading some
Stupid.
articles and they literally said like stunning new appearance by
Stunning and
stunning and
Like,
brave.
how
you
many
know.
other things can you apply? Are you a Turks and Caicos superhero?
Yeah, I
you-
know. I know. It's like so stupid.
Are you a Cayman Island superhero?
I'm using that one.
Like,
Oh,
Cayman
good.
Islands?
And she got the better costume and had the better scenes too, right?
He got to kick ass. And so there's the thing.
Take it up.
Unlike Doctor Strange, where at least Doctor Strange, yes, he fought. He saved the day. Yes, he had help from Wanda redeeming herself, but it's about him. Unlike that, Moon Knight had nothing to do with damn thing, and even friggin' Khonshu was a pussweed, getting
Yeah.
beat like a bitch.
Well, I have
Like
a
you
question.
said, a
If
kaiju fight, and there was a boring kaiju.
Amit was well, the other gods, were able to imprison. I guess Amit's in prison, right? But they were able to imprison Khonshu, no problem, or Khonshu.
Scarlet Scarab was a dude,
Right?
That's right.
Yeah, it
What's
was
that?
a guy. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, so they're able to and then Ahmed is able to wipe out all the other gods, no problem, just take them
I
out.
don't know.
But Khonshu was able to fight Ahmed, even though the other gods were able to imprison him, no problem. I mean, it didn't make sense. The power level.
All of the Disney
fight
Plus
was
shows are
boring.
lazily written. It's so bad. Maybe Mandalorian is the best one, but it is. But like
It
the
is,
other
yeah.
ones, they don't think of anything. It's like any trial, and I love that now there's a backlash against What If, I find on YouTube and stuff, saying that it's lazily written, which it was.
Yes.
Nothing
And
makes sense in What If.
And that pisses me off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna toot my horn and Sean's horn, and I think Clobby too. From day one, immediately I was like, "This is garbage." And
Garbage.
and we called it out. You go back to all the streams we've ever done. It's like we destroyed that show.
Oh, so
Yeah.
And it's
I
like
couldn't finish it.
And we had so many arguments. Like people are like, "Oh, what are you talking about? It was great." I'm like, "It's garbage. Nothing makes sense, and it's awful."
Oh, so terrible.
Maybe
we
reread the comics though, which was cool.
That Doctor Strange one was the one that made me stop.
Yeah,
I couldn't do it anymore.
That was awful.
That
made me
awful.
want to chew my own face off. I was like, wow, dudes.
No,
So,
but that's the thing with this movie. Like, what movie are people watching? Okay, there's always going to be going forward. There's always going to be small amounts of this kind of nitpicky woke stuff that people don't like. Yeah, but on top of that, you're getting the hero, the villain, the effects, the battles. Like what Wanda's coming out of that mirror thing, and she's all busted up.
That was Raimi cool,
right?
That was pretty Raimi here.
Yeah, like you've got the musical note fight, you've got creatures fighting, you've got the mirror thing, you've got different multiverses, you've got Living Tribunal for a second. It's like there's so many little cool things in this movie that are really inventive and neat that someone cared to put this in. It wasn't like Falcon and Winter Soldier where they literally turn to the camera and tell you a speech about about stuff.
Do better.
It was subtle. It was there, but subtle.
And
I'm not
okay.
saying I'm not
okay
happy with it being subtle, but I mean, still, if a movie, I still have to call balls and strikes. If something's good there, I'm going to call it. And there's
if you enjoyed it, and if you didn't, like some people in the chat didn't like it, I mean, that's fine. I'd love to hear that stuff, and it's fun to hear like why you didn't like it. Yeah, why you didn't like it or why you liked it. I mean, other than I don't think you should go into a movie like seeing all the spoilers, aka Sean, and say you're not. And Sean came out liking it, right? So that's Sean
and I
certain
did the same
critics.
thing.
And usually I agree
too.
with Chris Score. I've been watching it for years on probably
Yeah.
years ago, but once in a while you disagree. Like Ebert, most of the time I agreed with Ebert, but not all the time. But there were some critics who I hated their takes on movies. That's why I hate the Metacritic and when they merge all the the ratings together. Like there were certain critics I know have my kind of taste and like the kind of movies I like, and that's who you gravitate. Like I would listen to you guys and see what you think about a movie, over some critics and with friends. Other than Highlander 2. I mean, most of the time we probably agree.
Oh my God, I knew it. Okay, what's the time? I mean, my wife said 1 hour.
Your wife said she predicted 3 minutes, man. Mark is obsessed with you over that now, J-Man. By the way, I want to address something. Comic Relief Crusader, I don't think I entirely agree with that. She didn't save the day. It was Doctor Strange helped her save the day. She couldn't have done squat without Doctor Strange. Yes, she comes with the powers. Now, I'm not particularly thrilled that she was in the movie, but without Doctor Strange, she doesn't do anything.
She's a MacGuffin, really.
She's a MacGuffin. He constantly saves her life. She looked up to him. She never acted like a lot of these feminist characters in movies do, where he's just a stupid old white baby. She really cared about him, and even though one version of him tried to kill her, and she was very scared of him at first, but she grew to care about and love and look up to Doctor Strange. And then, yes, she had powers, but without his guidance, she's not able to use them, and he's the one that talked her into using them. I've heard other people complain about that, like there was something wrong with that. And I don't know. I don't see it. Do you?
And he definitely won the day. He talked her into it. And then I also like the fact that, look, they kept establishing that Wanda's super powerful. No one can beat her. I like the idea that even America Chavez is like, man, I can't. She's trying to punch her. It's like, this is going nowhere. I can't do anything against you. I like the idea that she's like, okay, here, have your kids. And that the kids are like, yo, like, you're crazy. Who are you? You're an insane woman. You're trying to kill our mom. What is this? I like that. I thought that was a clever way to get out of beating someone who just destroyed Black Bolt in 2 seconds and all these other characters. It's like, this is the movie we're watching. Whether or not you like America Chavez, she makes sense in the movie. Her powers are multiverse based. I mean, this isn't Eternals where they gender swapped and race swapped things where it doesn't make sense in the world of the movie. Yeah. If you like the character or not, what can I tell you? At least they didn't insert a character that has no purpose just to have diversity or whatever. They picked a character that fits the story. That's some thought process, much more than anything we've seen lately from MCU. Definitely the Disney Plus garbage.
And that's Sam Raimi.
That's Sam Raimi. I mean, I don't know. I'm going to be fighting with. I just know I'm going to be fighting with people on this one. But like, it is what it is.
Hey, buddy, no, I respect you on that, buddy, and respect right back at you. That you make valid points. There's a lot of people are saying that one. That's just my take on that. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
like I just had a lot of fun. And I think the thing is that if you're gonna have a bunch of like woke stuff or whatever and make it boring, that just makes it worse. When you make it fun, Eternals, yeah.
Eternals,
You make
boring.
it fun.
It could be part of the movie. Like, I don't think Shaft is woke. I don't think 9 to
No.
5 is woke. You know, it's like you can easily say it is, but like, you know, like Jewel of the Nile, you know, like
Oh,
Right.
that whole movie.
I love Jewel of the
people
Nile.
would
Oh,
freak
come
out
on.
at
That's a
the end of
terrible
that
sequel.
film now,
That
you know?
Jewel of the Nile
Oh.
sucks compared to Romancing the Stone. But
I love
that's
Romancing the
another
Stone, but I
argument.
also like Jewel. I
Did you
watched it
really?
as a kid.
I was
No,
so
wait, Romancing
disappointed.
the Stone's the first one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Romancing the
Jewel of the
Stone's
Nile
Yeah,
was not
that's the one I'm thinking.
Jewel of the
of.
Nile
Yeah.
was not directed by Zemeckis, and thus was
Yeah.
a disappointment.
Yeah.
I still liked it. I liked that the guy was a jewel. That was neat.
Well, I mean,
watched
look,
all these things as a
would
kid.
Princess Leia be considered, a Mary Sue?
Woke
No, I
today,
shouldn't say Mary Sue,
no.
but you know, because she grabs the gun from from Luke and says, "Hey, what are you meatheads doing here? Let's,
Yeah.
you know,
And then
Well,
she's
what
giving
kind of
orders at
rescue
the
is
end.
this?"
It's
Giving
like,
orders.
you
But
guys
she was
have to pick your
kick-ass. That was her
battles, man.
character. That was her character, but it was well written and it was earned, right? She was
Yeah.
such a good actress, and you believed her performance, and she wasn't overpowering too. And you know, it wasn't like she was Captain Marvel and then she shot 50 stormtroopers and then, you know, carried the guys out, flew the guys
Yeah.
out. So,
Yeah.
and she's got her flaws and character, you know, growth too. So that, you know, that's the difference. So Chavez surprised me, you know, although that, you know, the Gabi Rivera run is reviled by most people, and I think even the original creators, you know, said so much, you know, in between the lines, they didn't really like where they took the character. But I was watching. You know, Perch Comics by Perch did a nice review of Chavez, and you know, took you through the character history, and you know, she was a far different character initially, you know, as created. So whether you don't like the character, but you know, they really, you know, they went there with you know, that origin of the character, and of course, I'm sure those scenes are going to get cut from most countries that you know, Disney won't talk about, right? You know, they won't say anything about when it gets cut from those countries. But yeah, we won't get into politics here anyway. But that kind of stuff was, yeah, you see it and you kind of, all right, that's just the way of the world, you know, these days.
Punching himself
What
1,000 times is the
2 weeks,
greatest.
yeah.
I don't know what happened with Mark.
oh,
Hey guys,
yeah.
my niece was I'm babysitting my niece, so she's
Oh.
asking.
We're like, we've lost you. That
Yeah,
was you
I
dropped the
lost it,
mic.
Wanda asked me, yeah.
Comic Relief Crusader, buddy. Yeah, man. I respect that, dude. He said, gotcha. I didn't hate it per se. I just thought it was kind of cheapish, not eternal cheap, but tad on short change. Wasn't bad, but could have been slightly. But hey, I respect the hell out of that, man.
That's a good
If
take.
I could. There are a lot of ways I wish because I think they could have improved this movie. I by no means give it a love it or anything, but I do just don't see all. I can see criticizing it. I just don't see some of the. I don't want to attack anyone for their opinion.
No.
But I see a little hysteria going on a little bit about it that I think is a little. I'm not going to say much more about that because I love many of the wonderful people who don't like it. So that's fine too.
I think it'll come around in about a year or so. It seems to be the pattern, right?
Some, but maybe the ones
once it comes out in home video and you give it a second chance, you'll be like, "Yeah, it's pretty cool." You know.
I didn't even buy
or not,
Spider-Man
I
No
don't
Way
know.
Home yet. Yeah, never. I didn't buy Spider-Man
you-
No Way Home yet. I guess I should buy it at some point.
Yeah.
But you could probably find
Well,
some
seen it
things
once.
more wrong with Spider, and not to more wrong, or like there were some more egregious lines in Spider-Man. I thought actually when
Hey,
you
Spider-Man-
Yeah.
Doctor Strange was way worse than that because he did the most ridiculous thing. That movie is built on Doctor Strange doing something unbelievably stupid and reckless, and it almost wrecks the movie for me. Even though I still liked it, I've never gone back and watched it. I don't really. I mean, I
yeah, they
will
kind
one
of tried
day,
to
but I don't really
explain
care
it
that
away
much.
by like Peter Parker messing up the spell, but it's like, come on,
It's
he
his
should be the
fault.
Sorcerer Supreme. He wouldn't mess up the spell.
Yeah,
or
he wasn't. The
he would have
Sorcerer
asked those
Supreme.
questions
first
before.
place.
Like what they should have done is have something else from an outside force wreck that spell, or not make Doctor Strange the butt of the joke by screwing up the
You
spell.
could have found
or
some other
casting-
way to make everything.
You
happen,
find
right?
some other widget or
Right.
something happened to if something happens to make the casting go wrong. Not Peter Parker asking all these stupid questions. Like, yeah, you would think that through before you cast a monumental spell like that. So
I think the problem is that when you have other characters guest appear in the movie, the character transforms into what that movie is like. So if Spider-Man is a silly, fun movie, Doctor Strange becomes silly and fun to fit in with that theme. this is why we love the appearances, but sometimes it's like maybe they shouldn't have been in that movie, and because it's hard to keep consistency with a character who keeps appearing everywhere. So it's like Infinity War is very serious. Oh, okay, well, shit. Okay, Doctor Strange is very serious in this. And it's like, then he's in Spider-Man, he's joking around and making Equalizer, oh, they filmed Equalizer here. It's like, okay, like, what is this? So it's like they transform the character to suit that movie. And sometimes it's kind of like, but.
Well, J-Man, I'm going to go around the horn here. I want to get everyone's overall take on the film, and then anything standing out while doing that. Anything you hated, or you didn't probably, and anything what you love the most, what you dislike the most, and we could go around the horn that way. So begin, J-Man.
Okay. Well, so I dinged it on story in my review.
And we'll do a rating after we all get done with that.
Okay. So I won't give the rating. Okay. Yeah. So the negatives, I thought it was weird that like Wanda was pretending to be good if she was just going to automatically turn bad anyways in the beginning. So it was sort of like they gave her a pass for the WandaVision stuff in the first like 5 minutes, and she turned evil. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm almost thinking like Sam Raimi threw that in just to quickly say, oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's all done. Okay, now she's evil. I'm like, okay, whatever. So that was a bit weird. I don't really like that. I did find it weird that Captain Carter and Photon or whatever, I guess Captain Marvel, the two captains were able to survive as long as they were. Like, they should have been vaporized. Like, she should have just vaporized all of those Illuminati people, and then maybe Professor X was the one who kind of tried to get through it, and he was the end. So that was the two negatives. It's a little bit jumbly. Other than that, I loved everything, like all the inventiveness, the creatures. I want toys of all those creatures. Doctor Strange is the hero. He's the hero throughout. He's not made to be a fool. He's not made to be a laughingstock. You don't laugh at Doctor Strange. You're with him. You're cheering on with him. Wanda is a total crazy psycho, like killing everybody. I think that's awesome. Like when she just incinerates people, I'm like, this is crazy. Like, so for me, she really worked. I like her anyways. So all that was cool. The final battles. I love the cloak of spirits. Like, I mean, there's so many inventive things. Like, why don't we have a cloak that's made up of evil spirits? It's like, that's a cool idea. Put that in there. Why don't we have musical notes? Shit, put it in there. Really yeah. You know,
I like the hands, like the disembodied hands.
Yes.
That thing out was great.
All that's right out of Ditko. Yeah. It's all right out of the comics.
Yeah. And Doctor Strange, that comic was a trippy comic, right? That was the point of that.
It was always. And you can tell Raimi loved Doctor Strange as much as he loved Spider-Man.
Right. Yeah. So that's all the. I mean, I loved. I think maybe I'm the most out of
that's
us.
Cool,
I
man.
loved it. Like I don't know, and I hated like everything else that came out. I'm like, oh, I hate Eternals. I hate this. I hate this. And I love this one. I don't know what happened. Doctor Strange, baby, he's great.
There you go, Sean. Again, your overall feelings. Anything stood out that you hated and or loved? They're both.
Well, I didn't like. I went on my rant about Christine. I don't like that character. I don't like that angle. I don't understand any of that. None of the audience is on board with it, so I don't know why it's there. I hope this is the last.
Because she's cute.
Yeah.
Don't knock my redheads.
Yeah, the multiverse stuff. I feel like they just shoehorned all these rules into this movie. And it's like, you can only dream walk in other places. You can't actually go there, and that's what makes America unique. Don't worry about Spider-Man No Way Home or anything. Stuff like that.
Right. Sure.
It's sci-fi timey-wimey stuff. The Wanda motivation, yeah, J-Man, I could probably explain away her outing herself as a villain by when she realizes where America is, but I don't know why she wouldn't just like go undercover there and just get her, right?
Right.
Rather
it's
than
a movie
like attack
thing.
the whole place. Like they're all fortified because they know she's a villain now. It's like, well, she could have just gone there and the Illuminati stuff and the incursion stuff. I hope to God that doesn't make its way into the MCU. Because I hate that stuff in the comics. It was the beginning of the end of Marvel in the comics. So, that nitpicky stuff I don't like. The rest of it is awesome, as J-Man says. Like all the action, all the inventive visual creativity and everything. It's quick pace. It's a Doctor Strange adventure through and through. which I really appreciate because I want more Doctor Strange doing stuff, right? I just thought, I just thought it was an awesome movie. I mean, maybe if I watch it again, I'll see flaws that get bigger and bigger, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'll be too taken by the fun of it, and the fact that Doctor Strange isn't really compromised as a character or a hero in this film. So
Yes.
I thought it was awesome.
Love it.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. Absolutely. Mark D with AC. Overall thoughts. Things
I
you
gave
love, things you didn't love.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. So that's the thing, if I came out of the movie theater, aside from enjoying the popcorn with the magic bucket, that was fun. And there was nothing that really bugged me other than that Illuminati scene. Like that scene, someone was posting, Oliver was posting, his cousin was shocked when they didn't last. Like if you're going to make these characters that powerful, have them last longer. So that, or like I said, flip to another universe, or have more. If you're going to go cameos, at least have a bunch more people there. If they know this super powerful being, they had a Wanda in their universe, right? So they should have known. And Reed Richards wouldn't be caught like that to just get vaporized in 2 seconds. So that I was groaning, and I knew it was coming from the spoilers, but that was cringeworthy. I thought the monsters in the beginning were really cool. That those octopus, whatever kind of. There's that one scene where Strange, he grabs the door of a car and he uses to chop one of the arms off, kind of cool stuff that you don't normally see. And I thought the creatures in the end, those golem-like creatures, look pretty cool. I mean, just to compare it to Eternals, it was such a boring character design, and it was just, even like that first fight scene in the beginning of Eternals, I'm like, all right, that's supposed to make you, oh, wow, this is going to be cool. It's just kind of by rote, and at least these fight scenes were, kind of cool, and there's fun things happening. And America Chavez can't fly, she's, getting, thrown everywhere, and you're, waiting for her to die. And the Stephen Strange cloak, the cloak is, saving her. So, she's not very powerful in this movie. I'm like, wait, can't she fly in the comics? She's basically like, a super powered, being in the comics these days. Yeah. So, and then at the end, I thought the last 15 minutes really was great. So I didn't mind Christine. Maybe it's because she's a redhead.
She's a mean girl, though. She's a mean girl.
She's a mean girl.
She is, yeah.
But I thought that motivation for Strange, that's okay to have that type of motivation, in my opinion. Of course, she happened to be the one that survives, but that's the the love of his life, and she helps motivate him in the end, and has the idea for that cloak, but then Strange pulls it together too, so that it's like a Rocky moment. You get that. She's his Adrian, I guess, giving him that extra kick to get over the top, which is fine. I mean, that's as old as there is in terms of a classic tale. So that was fun. And then in Wong, Wong, even though he's the Sorcerer Supreme, he doesn't come across as being more powerful than Stephen Strange, though, right? So in the end, it's Strange that saves the day. So I'm waiting for him to become the Sorcerer Supreme again, but I guess they won't. They won't do that, but Wong did have his cool scenes in the end. But in the end, it's Strange, and then of course Wanda herself. But I didn't think maybe you could argue maybe this was was it a C or a B or an A? But I mean, the movie is definitely not a a D or an F. I don't understand how someone could say it's that bad of a. But I mean, trust me, I've sat through a lot worse, and and I enjoyed this. So. That was the main thing, for my I got the matinee price, $15 in my Dolby Digital Theater. So with the
and you got a magic popcorn box,
and I got a magic popcorn box, and it's not refilling the beer though. Too, it should refill the beer.
Supposed to refill the damn popcorn. I don't know why it's not working. There's got to be some buttons on the side. There's like some incantations on the side.
Do you guys get free refills in the States, or?
Yeah, we do get free refills if you do the AMC.
Depending on where you go.
Yeah, some of them get free refill. Yeah,
the Americans get all the cool stuff.
Oh man, I can't believe that. Do you guys have AMC up there or no?
We don't know. They went out of business here years ago.
Oh, I got you.
Listen,
we didn't get that Batman head, and we didn't get the Winter One, all that cool stuff. Yeah.
The Batman hand was cool. I didn't even know they were doing that, and I saw people walking out with it after.
Oh man.
God.
Yeah.
I wonder what that's selling for on eBay now.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, the Batman head was cool. Yeah.
Basically, look, I'm fairly well disposed toward the movie. I thought it was pretty good. Again, I remember I went and watched the original film, which the thing is, remember, again, it's 6 years since that film came out. There's no reason to wait that long like they did. But 6 years. So you get to see him. After that, you get Doc Strange in a cameo, or a small scene in Ragnarok. He's really good in Infinity War. Only like a tidbit in Endgame, and that's it. That's all you ever really get to see of the character. So we see him in this one. I think one of the things I was wondering, after 6 years, are they going to just act like the first movie didn't even happen? Will there be any carryover at all from some of the slight threads that were in the first film? And they were. I was surprised. Whether you like that, his thing with Christine or not, it's beside the point. At least that's from the first film. It is a callback to it. Of course, we all know he was Dust for 5 years. But I thought the movie got right into this movie. I saw people a couple days beforehand, even before I saw the spoiler stuff, saying, "Oh, it's a bait and switch. This is an America Chavez movie, not a Doctor Strange movie." Well, that's poppycock. I'm sorry. You can dislike it, but it's not an America Chavez movie. She's in it as a character. Unless you believe that there should be no other characters but a title character in a movie ever, then yeah, this is a Doctor Strange film. It is all about him, his journey, his problems, the things he suffered in between this film and the last one. He is on an adventure. He is the hero of the film. He's got a lot of obstacles going against him. He's there all the time. Yes, sure. Wanda has a big part in it, but villains usually have a big part in a movie with a superhero.
Yeah.
She's the villain. Plus, I don't mind that much, even though I've never been particularly sanguine about the whole darker than Scarlet, Dark Phoenix stuff for Wanda. But I don't get a say in that. So I like Elizabeth Olsen. I wish there's so many things I wish they had done with this film, but the only thing I really hated, because look, I will concede. You could point out all the woke stuff, and I'll probably concede with you that it was there. I don't like it. I would argue that it's a little more subtle but it still doesn't belong there. I wish it was not there, but it does not destroy, because you can never watch a movie if you're going to let that, if a tidbit is that something like that is in a film, and if it disqualifies you from enjoying the film, which is fine if that's the way you want to be, you can't ever enjoy anything. So I choose to compartmentalize that when it's not something as ridiculous as Eternals did it, as we've mentioned, and how Black Widow and Shang-Chi and these other ones do it. It's nowhere near that level. It's there, but it's nowhere near that level, including the character you would expect to make it the most that way, which would be America. She doesn't do that. She's not a bad character in the film. And again, this whole movie is about being a wild and crazy Doctor Strange adventure. I only hate the Illuminati crap, and then what would you call it, the insurgents? Incursion crap. Yeah. I hate that stuff. I hate every bit of that. And that really takes me out of the movie a little bit, but I got back into it. I think Raimi has a lot of his spirit in this thing. It's very Sam Raimi, and it's a pretty enjoyable adventure. I found it to be fairly agreeable, and I like it. And I'll probably watch it again. Will I like it more? I don't know. But I don't have the same opinions that a lot of other people do about it being just, most. You would think this was Eternals on speed, the way some people are talking.
Yeah.
You're all entitled to your opinions. I'm just saying, some of the hysteria about the film is kind of weird. I'm not going to go into it anymore because everyone's entitled to any opinion they want. But I found it, and I'll tell you this: I'm not so sure it's going to make a lot of money, but I think it's going to do okay with the normies, because geeks will go see it just because they're geeks. Normies who happen to like MCU and enjoyed the first Doctor Strange film will probably go see this. Will it do Spider-Man money? No. But I think it will do okay, because most of the word of mouth from people who aren't, geeks will go, "Oh, it was pretty cool." Yeah, that's probably what you're going to hear. If someone says, "Hey, did you see the new Doctor Strange?" "Oh yeah, that was crazy. It was wild stuff. It was pretty good. I liked it." And I think that's basically what you're going to get from word of mouth. So I think it will do okay. And now I will go around the horn and get ratings. We want some ratings. I guess we'll use the 0 to 10 scale, or use what you want. So
don't mess J-Man up. He's got his system.
Yeah,
J-Man, yes, that's what I said. Do whatever you want. So J-Man, rate it any way you want. I'm sorry to have put
pressure
on you there, buddy. Go for it.
Look, I'm telling you right now, it's 9 out of 10. I thought it was damn awesome. I don't like the Illuminati, and they all got killed. So I'm like, perfect. I'm like,
So they are kind of jerks in the comics
like
too,
they're
right?
That's the way they did it, but yeah.
Yeah, I love Wanda, and she killed all these losers. I'm like, perfect to kill everybody.
Fair enough. That's a good point.
Right? So, my biggest fear was America Chavez, and I really liked her, so that's crazy.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I thought it was amazing. It's probably one of my favorite Marvel movies. It's just exciting and fun to watch. It's like it's not up there with like First Avenger or like Avengers or something, but like it's definitely beats Black Panther, Captain Marvel, all these new ones.
Oh yeah.
Like all Infinity Wars probably is better, but like it's right up there in the top, like I don't know, like 13 or something. I don't know. I'd have to really look at it.
Sure. I hear
better
you.
than Ant-Man and the Wasp. Like I don't know what people were expecting. Like I mean, if someone gives this like a 6, 7 out of 10, okay. People saying it's a 1 or 2 out of 10 or it's crap. It's like, what movie did you watch? Like Eternals is 2 out of 10 or something like that for me. Like, that would be
that's
where
0 for me, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm giving it, there's some neat visual stuff, and when they talk to the
wow, that's a generous review there, buddy.
Right. So I mean, if I'm at a 1 or 2 for Eternals, like how is this in that same level? Like this is light years better. So I'm going with 9 out of 10. I don't care. I'm gonna watch it again and say 10 out of 10.
You do you, brother.
Get me back in 6 months, and it'll be a 10.
Sean, what is your rating of Doctor Strange
Multiverse of Madness?
I'll let you say it. I can't say it.
Okay. Sorry, it's a mouthful. I don't know what they're doing with these titles. I gave it a solid 8 out of 10. I dinged it for story, and I dinged it for character because of Christine. And
oh man,
and that's I dinged it.
I want the math on that one after this stream. I want to see your math.
It's a solid 8 out of 10 for me. Look, this is awesome, and the pacing is like the pacing should get an A+++ because like listen, forget these 2.5 hour, 2 hour 45-minute, 3 hour movies. Why? This is a zippy 2 hour movie. You're in, you're out. 2 hours used to be long, but now it's like short. So I thought this was awesome. 8 out of 10 for me. So.
Marker.
Yep, I gave it I was in the 8s, so I said like if I'm grading it to 100, like I'd say 8.3, 8.5. It's like a B, solid B right there. So fun time. Illuminati dragged it down, and that was a whole waste of potential too. I think it loses points because I think they should have done more with the movie in terms of the multiverse. And then that last we got to the incursion universe, and there was nothing there. It was just mostly dead Doctor Strange. So I'm like, let's see some cool stuff. So someone posted in the chat. I'm not sure. Like, it'd be interesting to see what were the reshoots, or was anything really cool cut out. I don't know. Hopefully,
it was.
Find out one, or maybe they reeled Raimi in and said you can't go there. Like my niece, who I'm babysitting for tonight, loves Wanda, and like I said, was watching WandaVision over and over. And but I don't know, the movie might be too scary for some of the stuff, as a young, 9, 8, 10-year-old. I mean, that there's some creepy Raimi-isms in there that are really cool and we loved. But hey, Evil Dead and that kind of stuff is for older kids. So I don't know if she'd be too freaked out. I'm told her mom, I'm like, she might be kind of scared, to see some of this stuff.
10?
She just turned 10, yeah.
There's a couple of jump scares and some blood. I don't think.
But just the zombies,
horror stuff.
But like Doctor Strange talking without half a face. I mean, that kind of stuff.
That's true.
Yeah,
I mean, you got to know your kids, I guess, and make that. That's another aside. But there is some, potentially. This is not a movie for 5-year-olds to go see.
No.
In my opinion, it's not like they could have seen Spider-Man, I think. So,
right.
But I had fun. I just thought maybe a little more, some more Raimi-isms would have been fun. I think what we got was really cool, but I would have liked to see, take it to 11 on some of this stuff. So, but yeah, Chavez was fine. I was expecting the worst, and let's see what the next. I don't know. Are they going to do another movie, or now that we've got this whole universe? That's what happens now. You always want the movies to be interconnected or see multiple characters. Like, where were the Avengers, or years ago when the FF were that, in their movie, we're like, well, why don't the X-Men come to help them fight Galactus? Oh, because they don't have the rights. They can't do that. But so that's the kind of the curse and the bet. I mean, think how wonderful this is. We've got all these Marvel movies now. when I was a kid, you could barely get a crummy Meagle figure of the Thing.
Right.
And now you could spend thousands of dollars on any character, hot toys, models, whatever you want. And you've got all these movies, and the special effects are amazing now too. I mean, it's just so it's the sky's the limit. We just need good stories, and hopefully they'll pull out some of those older classic stories instead of going with when they did Silver Surfer movie FF movie. Of course they went the ultimate FF route, or the FF movie that shall not be named. They pulled the ultimate FF. It's like, do Kirby, don't do the new Ultimate Universe crap. Do the classic stuff, guys. So that's what I'm hoping that maybe we'll have a great Ditko old school adventure, maybe just Doctor Strange down the road. That would be wild to see if they pulled one of those classic comic stories and brought that to life, because they can do it now with the special effects, and we did get a lot of that cool stuff in that movie. But I agree. I was listening to some of my buddies talking today. I'm like, I respect your opinion, but what movie did you see? Like, was it that bad, or am I that nice, or am I that So that was that's fine. But I just hope everyone just whatever anyone says on YouTubes or the interwebs, or go see the movie. Take care, Steven. Yep, go see the movie and decide for yourself. That's the only thing. Oh, Reed's uniform. They had the black in the uniform. You can't have black in Reed Richards' uniform. So that's another reason we get him to disassembled. Right? So, can't have black in Reed Richards' uniform. So, but yeah, it was fun. So, yep, go see it if you and then decide and let us know. In the comments or wherever. Yep. So just make your own opinion, and if you like it, that's okay. If you hate it, that's okay too. Tell people why you don't you hated it. So
well, there you go. I'm gonna give it, and I think it might be a bit of a stretch, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 7. For all of its flaws, it manages to be fun, and the fact that this is a film that does concentrate on its hero, and it doesn't lose sight of being a Doctor Strange film. Certainly it has other things going on in there, but look, I would have chosen a different villain. There are a lot of calls I would have made differently, but it still manages to be a lot of fun. And I think that's a lot of Sam Raimi, him putting his touches on it, made this movie fun, and just that's the bottom line of it. I had a good time. I enjoyed it. There was a kind of a crazy type of horror feel to it that I'm not even a horror fan. I can't stand horror movies.
Yeah.
But what's from Sam Raimi, it works. And from him giving the visual respect that this film deserves, giving it a Ditko feel to it. Again, and also you notice for the most part he kept some of the quippy crap to a minimum. That we all in these Marvel movies now.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, they had their little silly conversation about Spider-Man, but it was funny enough. It's like, whatever. You can have some humor in there, but it wasn't every 5 seconds. Right. Hey, Cardinal Sin.
Hey, Cardinal Sin.
Good to see you there, my friend. That's with a $9.99 super sticker, which I can't see what it looks like at the moment, but
it's a flying, some kind of flying pear with a Superman cape.
Well, thank you so much, Cardinal Sin. You're too kind, buddy. Appreciate you so much, man. So overall, I found it to be pretty enjoyable. One of the best one we've, seen. Well, that and Spider-Man, or at least we got a couple of good ones made. I definitely ding it and knock it down for some of the woke crap in there. I just don't think it's as bad or damaging to the film. There are other aspects that I think, aside from that, I'm glad that we're talking about this thing more on an artistic level than on the politics crap, which again, I understand that needs to be addressed. If that's what you wanted, if that's what concerns you the most, the politics of any of these things, then by all means talk about it any way you want. I would rather talk about it on, does it work as a film, as a piece of entertainment? And for me, for the most part, yeah, I think it does. I think it's a decent follow-up to a first film, which I enjoyed. And I think Cumberbatch does a great job. We haven't said anything about him that much. He is a good casting for Doctor Strange. He's the one I wanted in the beginning to play him.
He looks like Strange too, right?
Yeah, it looks awesome. Just like him from the comic. And he says stupid stuff in real life, but that's a day ending in Y. It's Hollywood. He
Yeah, right.
he's great in the film. And again, I reiterate, it gets points from me because it is about its titular hero. Even though there are other, you've got to have other characters that are good in it as well. They don't lose eyes on the prize in terms of treating the character, giving him a movie about him. And Wanda, okay, some of the stuff they do with her, I'm not too fond of, but I love Elizabeth Olsen. And there could have been so much
Another
more.
redhead. No
I
comment.
love her. Love her. There could have been so much more to this movie to definitely make it better. A lot of things I would have done differently, but I'm going to give it a solid 7 because it is it's a worthy successor to the first one. So
like a
there we
C
go.
plus.
You had to bring letters into it, did you?
Yeah, well,
I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is.
Translate to
grade.
grades. Yeah,
Yeah.
like if you get a 70 on a test, a 75.
Okay,
yeah.
a C plus.
Yeah, like a C plus. So
That's
good.
for
Yeah,
Saturday Night
average,
Star Trek.
average to good. Yeah, average to good. Yeah, yeah.
We don't have that in Canada. We use percentages, I believe.
We use
At least my
percentages,
school-
yeah.
You know,
my
you
school
guys.
used-
High school used percentages, but
You know-
grade school didn't.
Well, you want an admission to what might help it as well? You want to hear the 3 things I've watched around it, like the thing I watched before it, the day before it, and the 2 things I watched last night after I saw the movie. I watched the shitty episode of 6 of Moon Knight the day before, and then because of some villain that I won't name who happens to be in this room, after watching the movie, I got home and did my show. There he is. I watched Star Trek: Strange Nude Worms.
Oh,
And the last episode of P Hard for the season.
That holds
anything
Star
will
Trek
look good.
vampires away. That sends them away. Yep.
In the middle of that all that trash, anything looks good. So maybe I'm
how
exaggerating.
bad was Strange New World?
It
I was
puts it-
curious, but yeah.
It's garbage. Put it like this. It's got this. It's got this thing where that you. Okay, so they turned the lights on the ship. In other words, you can almost hear them saying, "Okay, we heard you guys bitching that we're too dark and we're too pew pew pew." And our
Too many lights. God, I
let's
hate
turn
the
the
Enterprise
lights on.
Bridge. The Enterprise
And
Bridge looks horrendous.
still
Oh, it's
stupid.
horrible. Oh,
It's
too many
still
lights.
written like STD and P Hard. Again, these characters aren't quite as bad as that, but
I don't
they're
think it's
pretty
as bad.
So
It
it's
is bad.
grudgingly what they think fans
what they
think
want,
we
but
want.
They don't understand Star Trek
It's
enough
still-
to give them what they want.
Right. Well, I'll give you an example of how it's filled with the same kind of stupid, okay? There's a scene where they're, instead of just, how when they would go down on planets on the old show and they would dress up to look like the aliens, or they would like add bumps to their heads, like prosthesis or whatever.
Yeah.
They had to do it with like the nurse Chapel, who is of course the super doctor, has to inject them with this some kind of genetic crap that'll change their genomes.
Change your
And that-
genes, yeah.
Right, to fool, even though this is not a very sophisticated planet they're going down to compared to them. So they go to beam down, and I'm like, wait a minute, they're wearing their uniforms. That's kind of weird. When they beam down, I kid you not now, I'm not making this up. You're going to think I'm thinking about a Doctor Strange scene. They beam down to the planet. When they materialize, they're wearing the transporter changes their clothes. to
Yeah,
look
but
like
they
the-
say
like the
that
native.
they say that in the transport. They say we're going to change you to native clothes.
Yeah,
Well, they're
I
adding
know.
things that they don't
It's so
need to add.
stupid.
Because
That's
when
never
does
happened.
this take place? Is this
What?
before
This is
Kirk?
10 years before
it's
Kirk.
before Kirk. Yeah. So
There's one more stupid thing I got to mention. Later in the episode, we find out that there are medical transporters for intraship beaming, emergency medical transporters in sick bay. I swear to God, I'm not
I
making it
think
up.
they
It's
did
so
they ever
stupid.
have? I think
No.
that they add a
But they
medical
don't need
transport at
to
one
do
point?
that.
Intraship
Right?
beaming was very rare at the time. And
Yeah.
remember Day of the
Yeah.
Dove?
Yeah, didn't they do it one time and it was almost like
Day
you were
of the
going to
Dove,
get
and it
they were
was a
going to
big
get
deal.
it was like you
Yeah.
could get killed or you could go into the deck
Right.
in between the
Now,
decks.
by the time of the Next Generation time period, you could do they just
Yeah.
and they still didn't need transporters in sick bay. It was stupid. So
Well, at
they're
least it's
filled
not
with
like
stupid
STD
shit
where
like that.
everyone's got a personal transporter on there.
They
Aside
have
from
replicators, don't they? Didn't I see something where STD
Yes.
has replicators? Which literally
By the
every
way-
episode of Star Trek ever expresses how they didn't have replicators.
Right.
There's an entire scene
Yeah.
of Harry Kim saying, "Oh, remember those garbage days where they didn't have replicators? How did they
yeah,
live?"
it's
You
very
know?
24th century. Hey, there's a scene where he's Spock boys messing around with Tufring. I'm sorry, they didn't meet. They had not met since they were children. In a mock time, it was said they had a brief ceremony when they were kids. They never met after that. And Kirk, Spock had never met her. He told Kirk that, and I know he's not a liar
Yeah.
even.
Yeah.
By the way, the Gorn were not mentioned until Arena.
Yeah, that's what I
Kirk
was
is the
asking
first
you
people
when
to
I saw it.
encounter
I'm
the
like,
Gorn.
I'm pretty sure the Gorn that was the first.
Yeah, the Federation
that-
didn't know who the Gorn was.
Yeah.
Now they've since changed Memory Alpha to reflect the new Gorn
They
encounter.
can
So now
screw
you
off.
could have had an encounter, but what they should have done is said an unknown species, and then later on, then say that you find that it's a Gorn.
I know, but that
in 10
level of
years.
thought will never happen at right
No,
It's never happened.
You ready for the
Yeah.
crowning turd in the punch bowl? I'm saved the best for last. Earlier in the episode, they mentioned that an Instant Kirk is coming. We got to pick him up later. So at the very end of the story, Instant Kirk is on his way to the bridge, sir, and you're like, what? So Instant Kirk shows up. He's fucking Samuel Kirk, his brother, who was all of a sudden now he was in Starfleet.
Oh,
Right.
So now Sam Kirk was on the Enterprise before. It's like, go to hell, Clutchman. It's not Akiva Goldsman made it. That's all you need to know. So is it different? Is it trying? Oh, and by the way, forget the fact that they created this is the episode that chronicles where they create the Prime Directive. I kid you not. That's also in this.
Oh my god.
Well, that's never going to stick.
Stupid.
Why
It's
don't
so
they
bad.
make
That was the
something
line.
like
so it's
Every time they go
Kelvinverse
back-
or something, right?
Well,
I
what's
don't
that?
think it's supposed to be. I thought this was supposed to be like the regular Star Trek.
No, this is
version.
STD. He mentions Michael Burnham.
Oh yeah, no, it's in the same universe. Yeah, no, it's Pike from Star Trek Discovery. So everyone was asking for a Pike show when Discovery came out because that was the only decent thing on the show. His character was actually
It sucks.
semi well written, and the things I didn't like about it, the Enterprise. I don't mind the exterior of the Enterprise so much, although I wish they kept the pylons, the original pylons. They should have been the straight
Those
pylons,
goats.
not the rebuild pylons, but. The outside is okay. For me, it's okay. They're going to change. They're going to put some more lights on it. I love seeing new ships and the textures and things. That was that.
You muted. You muted. Oh, he's saying something. Oh,
Sorry, guys. My
Look,
niece
that's all right.
he just runs in and I told her I'm on the show for a few more minutes. She just opens the door and starts
yeah.
yelling.
We'll
but,
get you out here in a minute, man.
no, that's okay. But I just wanted to say, I didn't mind the ship so much, but the Spock will never get right. One or two lines, I'm like, maybe Spock would have said that, but not the stuff with the praying was ridiculous, and
They need
and
women
having
to
him
lead
half
him around.
dressed. Yeah,
How about the
having half-
woman telling him to neck pinch a guy because he can't figure
That
it
was
out?
ridiculous. That was so ridiculous. Yeah, they just there's a
Oh.
lot. And Nurse Chapel's on steroids. I
She's
have to say
cringy.
it was. Yeah, I have to say that this overall story idea wasn't as bad in terms of like a first contact story. Although they would always say that McCoy would
What is a warp bomb?
perform surgery. For when you went down to the planet, like when Kirk had to look like a Romulan. He like, hey, you don't want to look like that. Let me get him, bob your ears, unless you want to keep looking like your first officer. So
stupid.
but they had to do surgery, but
What-
they didn't show.
What about them beaming something into his eye?
Yeah, that was ridiculous. And they said we've never done that before. We can't do that.
Stupid.
I mean, the tech.
Car-
But
Cardinal
I mean,
Sin-
those are things that All right, they're going
How
to
can
say
you
that's
excuse that
interesting.
stuff?
But
It's
the
bad.
stuff that bothers me more is when the characters are not acting like the characters. Like her shouldn't be on there as a cadet. Chapel was way overpowered. I don't know. Would you say overpowered or over?
Yes,
She's like a
she's
super
OP. He even called her a doctor
she's-
by
accident. Yeah. So I rewound that too. He said, "Did you just call her a doctor?" It's like it's okay to have a character to have growth
there's a warp bomb.
and start out as a nurse. It's like, well, I guess
It's
Chapel is
written by
okay to have
idiots
on the
like
ship.
the other shows.
But they just have two. There was a couple of things I did like. It's not, of course, I'm saying it's not as bad as STD. Because I hate the Spock stuff, but I didn't think the overall story was, as bad. I mean,
Give me
I've
some
watched
time.
all
I'll
of
have you hating
STD. I've watched so much of STD. I mean, the story in STD. Like
warp
I always
bomb?
keep repeating this. Yeah, the warp bomb. Well, I guess you could maybe create a.
Oh, this is
But you would have
antimatter
warp
bomb.
drive too. Yeah, but I guess you could do that, right?
But they call it a warp bomb because it's morons.
It's just a warp drive, I guess, or it's a power source, right? It depends on how your heart.
It's
I mean,
just
the
so
atomic bomb could be
asinine.
used for energy, to create electricity, or it could be used as destruction. But what didn't make sense was how they were able to retcon that technology just by seeing Discovery. That made no sense. It's like, well, how did they get that technology just by seeing? That
It's
didn't
so
make
bad,
that
man.
didn't
It's
make any
terrible.
sense.
I don't know why you guys are upset over this transporting different costumes. Batman can do it with the bat poles. Like
That's
he's
true,
Batman.
right? Yeah, he's Batman.
Batman can do anything.
Yeah,
Let me thank
They've got
Cardinal
Batman
Sin.
technology.
Let me thank Cardinal Sid for this real quick, folks. $9.99 super chat. Thank you so much, Cardinal. You're very, very kind. Thank you. Hello there, the lovely Sherry. Beautiful lady. Good to see you.
Hey, Sherry.
What I want to know is where Akiva Goldsman gets all the money for his cocaine habit. Well, obviously, he gets it from CBS. Have you seen him on camera? He's constantly rubbing his nose. He gets it because CBS is a bunch of idiots giving him money. You've mystery solved, buddy. That's where he gets it, and that's a lot of money he gets too. And he's not the only one. Let's just say the coke dealers over there are really cleaning up at CBS.
And well, the one thing I have to mention too is this will get our Canadian friends upset who love KD. Tilly. I guess you haven't watched STD, but Tilly is is eating with Saru, and she says, "Well, I'm out of." All of a sudden, she's like, "Oh, this is gross." She's like, "Well, I'm trying to do stuff out of my comfort zone. I'm going to be a captain someday, so I decided instead of ordering my regular food, I ordered macaroni and cheese tonight, and it's really not good. It's just totally out of my comfort zone." It's like I can imagine.
Why would you
an ensign
on that?
I imagine an ensign having a meal with his senior officer saying that he's doing something out of his comfort zone, and that out of the comfort zone is eating macaroni and cheese. They're like, wow, you must have a rough life, eating macaroni and cheese.
They just don't know how to write incidental dialogue, right?
No, they're terrible writers.
And
but you know what?
Rewinding and laughing at it.
You know what it's better than, though? That Strange New Worms, Screwed New Worm, was better than the last episode of P Hard.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
You guys don't watch that, do you? I hope not.
No.
Oh, you saw that? Oh, God. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I didn't see it.
Q.
I didn't see it.
You didn't cry at that scene when Wesley came back?
Oh, Wesley, Wesley Crusher comes back. You know that, right?
No.
I heard that he's got a, but people were saying it was weird. It's like he's just there.
Out of nowhere, he went to the 21st century to get that, what's her name, Soji clone or whatever that Dr. Sung made to turn her into one of those, whatchamacallits, those travelers for no particular reason. One of the travelers or whatever.
Who are in charge of the Gary Sevens of the universe. Yeah,
that was just to give him a little cameo to make his little worthless ass happy, I guess. But man, that ending, boy.
Well, I did like some of the emotion between Picard and Q, but I think there was about 30 seconds that I liked.
When Q tells him, some gods have their favorites, and you've always been one of mine, Joe. Look, shut up.
I like that.
You know why he's his favorite? Because he likes picking on him. I mean, let's see. He don't want to mess with Cisco because Cisco punched him in the face.
Yeah.
He likes Janeway because she's cute. But he likes Picard because he's a little stick in the mud that's easy to pick on. He's like, if you're a bully, the guy who gets pissed off the most is the one you like to pick on. And that's what it is.
Doesn't Q have a son too? That I heard something.
Yes, he does.
It's like, oh, I'm alone. It's like, well, where's your son? Like,
and he's dying, but we don't know why.
It's like,
by the way,
that's why the writing is just.
If you want to know why he's dying, get used to it. You're not going to know because they don't tell you. They say it all through the series, the season, and then they don't tell you why.
And the kicker is the Girardi comes back as one of the guys stays in the past, right? So Rio stays in the back in the past with the really cute doctor, which I don't blame him for doing, right? So he dies, he's dead when Q snaps his finger and everyone comes back to the future except for Rio. So he's like, "Oh, good, I have extra power."
And then he asks Guinan actually tells him how they died. I'm like, I don't want to know that.
But the one thing that's crazy is, so Girardi becomes like a Borg type creature, right? But she flies off in that horrible spaceship. The what was it called? Whatever it is.
The Cerritos.
La Serena. It looks horrible. And they fly off. So she's the Borg queen for 400 years. So does that change the whole future of the Borg?
They don't know.
So the Borg, but they don't show you in the series. Like the Borg would have had a totally different future then, because the Borg are now not concerned with quote unquote, taking over everyone and taking their technology. They're actually more individualistic and supposed to be nicer Borg, right? So they leave her in the past as a Borg and that would screw up the whole history of Star Trek.
I guess she goes to the Delta Quadrant.
So does the First Contact movie happen? It makes no. So then in the last scene, she pops up and she's like, "I know, stop shooting. It's you in there, Agnes. Right now, you're the Borg queen." It's like, did you writers have any concept of the whole universe would have been changed? I mean, if you change that 400 years in the past,
but. So instead of screwing up older aliens and iconography from Star Trek, are they making new new
one?
races, new
No.
iconic like.
Well, they did have a new
races,
race. They did have a new race in the final few episodes of STD that were creating this whole galactic.
But that was in the 30-something century, though.
Yeah, in the future, but very rarely. Or they did have the portal. No, they had the portal. The Guardian of the Edge of Forever was actually a character, which what's his name had actually written, and Roddenberry wisely didn't have the Guardian of Forever as a character. So
wait, is STD is that part of the like the JJ? Or no?
He says it isn't, but it is.
It
It has to be because
Okay,
all
so
the technology is different.
So STD is the first thing, and then it's what's the new one? Strange Worlds or whatever.
Strange New Worlds is set concurrently. It's set concurrently.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then it's the Star Trek 2009 garbage dumpster fire.
Well, that's the way I consider it because I don't consider that to be real Trek universe.
They're not saying it's the same universe,
but they say
per se, but probably is. Yeah.
Okay.
They say it's
Picard
the real,
is part
they're
of
saying it's Prime Universe, but they're bullshit.
Okay, but Picard is supposed to be the
the cartoon's Prime Universe too.
Right? For me, it is.
Yeah, the cartoon is for sure.
The comedy cartoon, not the kid cartoon.
Lower Decks.
Not for me. It isn't. Not for me.
That's also the JJ verse or whatever.
As far as I'm concerned, it's all Jar Jar shit one way or the other. I mean, nothing connected to the real deal. 66 through 05, none of that counts for that for me. Cardinal Sen for $9.99. Thank you again, buddy. He said they're simply gaslighting the fans at this point. They knew everything they do is going to crash and burn, and they're just trying to piss us off. We shouldn't give them the satisfaction. Noted. No more satisfaction, you guys. Damn it, J-Man and Sean and Mark, cut it out with the satisfaction. And I'm not going to tell you again, young women.
And now listen, you got everyone that attacks me for watching garbage movies. You guys are watching these shows. I tapped out.
We are
so
watching garbage.
I'm gonna pat myself a bit for that one.
You tapped out with Star Trek, yeah.
I tapped out with Star Trek. I hold it to a higher standard, I think. I think it's like
because
Star
it's
Trek is
so
like
divorced
so
from real Star Trek that you can't get into it. Even with Superman, you hold out hope, right? And you know.
So I'll go to if they bring Henry Cavill back and they're doing Man of Steel Part 2. It's like I will go see Man of Steel Part 2 and I'll buy it and put it right there.
So you're just as bad as you're the last guy on the planet to talk. You buy modern DC comics and Marvel comics.
I do buy. And so does listen, Sean's in the
House of Glass much.
Oh my god! Listen, I've it's superheroes. I'm gonna be a sucker for it. Star Trek, I can't do it. I don't know.
Look like New Avengers. There we go.
Oh yeah, Mark, you buy modern comics.
He buys modern crap too.
Yeah, Clobberin, you're alone.
All three of you.
You're
all three of you. I'm with a bunch of heretics ruining comics. Comics have been ruined by you all.
I'm trying to support the comics industry, man.
Why? They need to burn. Let them die. Burn. Kill it if you have to.
Let them die. Yeah.
The comic relief Chris says, just don't watch. Yeah, I don't know. It's the one thing that's great about watching Picard is then you can enjoy the Red Letter Media YouTube takedown even more.
I watched those.
So because watching the show, you know what the guys are saying. And just I gotta see what they say about Girardi Borg. I mean, how could you do that? How could you change the whole history of the Borg? That means 7 of 9 is no longer a Borg. Would have Borg implants. You would just have our normal implants.
All right, D-Bud, be good, man. We're getting out of here, man. So let us go around the horn and say all the goodbyes to the great J-Man Buddy. First of all, I want to talk to you about that shirt a little bit more because we talked about that. I love the corner box shirts.
And I've got
but you know what's weird about this one, though? Because those are burned, but I still like it.
Yeah.
You know, I kid, but I love Burns art. But see the top where you got the 40-cent. First of all, you got 40 cents. Below that, the CC, that means Curtis Circulation. Because that's where that was printed, at Curtis Circulation at that time back in the 70s. Then you got 129 January, and you got that same makes note that number. I've got the one I got has the whole FF on it, but with that same top. And I went and looked at and it was Perez heads instead of Byrne, but I went and looked at that and say, And I would an FF number 129 cost 20 cents. So in other words, it's not taken from a normal corner box set. It's just so there must be some kind of meaning to them using those numbers, and I want to know what they are. But anyway, that's a great shirt.
Yeah, that's the artist. It's like I had the Fantastic Four heads as well, except I didn't get them in the corner box. I had them like just side by side, like a cross. So it's like
nice.
the four.
I love those corner boxes, man.
Yeah,
They're
I
cool,
love the
yeah.
corner. I've got pins too. I don't know if you've seen these. They've got pins.
I've seen them got pins. I want them. Damn it.
Oh, I got Hulk, Spider-Man, Captain America.
Nice.
I desperately want Hawkeye. I just can't find him. But yeah, I got those three.
I want
which are
more of
pretty
these
cool.
shirts. I only have, I think maybe 1 or 2 shirts like that. But I want more. Like I said, I saw somebody
Yeah,
selling them.
they're
I saw one site one time. It had like 50 of them. Man, they had John Carter. They had Nova. They had Star Wars. And I'm like, I don't know which one to order first. I want them all. But anymore, now they don't have any more. But anyway, tell us what you are doing, what you got coming up on your channel, dude. And
we're taking a break this week from just this week, but then next week, every Tuesday we do a show about wrestling, so women wrestling, the WWE. So that's Steven and I, and then Thursday nights, Sean and I do a 90s comic book thing. So we're going through all the comics that have come out. Yeah, those are a lot of fun, and we choose a topic sometimes. Sometimes we just go through whatever came out in that month for comics, and then Saturday nights is our stream where we're going to talk about Moon Knight and Superman and Lois and Flash and Doctor Strange and all the geek stuff. So that's every Saturday. None of the streams cross with your streams. We always finish before you start because we like to be in your chat. So we don't cross the streams. It's like Ghostbusters. You don't cross the
and I'll
streams.
never do the same to you either, brother. I promise, man.
So yeah, that's what we're doing.
Well, that's fantastic, dude. What is going on with you, Sean? I know you're just doing stuff with J-Man, but you got anything going on with your channel? Are you doing a channel these days?
Right now on my channel, Decepticon77, I've got read along records right now, so I'm doing compilations of like old rare stuff. I'm gonna have Rambo up there, just like 90 minutes of Rambo stories.
Wow.
Mr. T, stuff like that. I've got Planet of the Apes up there right now, and I also review comics and the occasional movie or two when it's like a big event movie and stuff. So yeah, and I'm always on J-Man's channel. So
excuse me,
you had a review up on. You had a review up last night, driving through the car. Yep, I saw that. Yep.
Sorry, buddy.
So, no worries, Clobby. Yep, we're all trying to fight. I finally can breathe today. It's been tough. Yeah, and I've been sick the last 2 weeks. It seems.
Well, it's just
How
coming on all of a sudden. Like,
better?
damn it! Oh yeah, it's probably just maybe it's from some
probably watching Strange New Worlds. Probably, yeah.
Yeah, that would do it.
That did it. Yeah.
Excuse me,
Picard.
That'll do it.
Well,
please subscribe to both J-Man and Decepticon. We got the link in there.
Yeah, I just put the link in. Yep.
Thank you.
Both links there. Yep. So make sure the great channels. Yep.
The great commodity with the sea chief engineer tutor.
So I have these from Comic-Con. So
oh man,
I bought those. Established 1930. Of course, it was timely comics, wasn't it? But yes, I bought some pins at Comic-Con. I probably should have bought more, but those are fun to have. I have those hanging on my wall, so I grabbed those. Yeah, so check out my channel. I had my review up, or a spoiler-free review of Doctor Strange. And of course, you heard what I said tonight. And I love 3D printing. Here's a cool Spock from the original Spock, the cool Spock, not that Spock that we won't name. It's on TV now. So yeah, check out my channel. I stream a lot with Clobberin time, so we have the Clubhouse on Thursday night.
Yes.
And, I'll be hanging out on Saturday night Star Trek. Hopefully, I got to watch my episodes, so I'm behind. So I gotta watch those. So hopefully it's gonna rain.
One today and I fell asleep.
Hopefully it's gonna rain tomorrow because I gotta do yard work, and then I'm being. I watch. Man. Don't tell Raquel, but I watch the episodes at 1.5 speed sometimes on VLC.
Cheating.
That's cheating. Yeah, especially if it's a bad episode. So
I mean,
go right.
Man, some of these we're starting the 7th season now.
Yeah.
And some of these, let me tell you something. I'm having trouble saying it. Well, it was missing.
Falling asleep.
Yeah, we've been doing it on. That's been the way it's been on all of them. We've been falling asleep. But even in a good one, though. I mean, I'm just old, so.
I mean, I've gotten really tired. I fell asleep watching UFO once too, so that's that's inexcusable. So I was watching. I've been going through UFO, so I caught some of those episodes. I'm like, wait, I can't fall asleep now. I can't do that.
Well, show notes, folks. I want to thank you all for being here with us tonight on a Friday night. I know I don't usually do Friday nights, but when there's a special occasion, and it's so great to hang out with J-Man and Sean and Mark. Join us Saturday night Star Trek. We're back with the 7th season, starting it up on TNG Reviews with my wonderful first officer, R.M. Briggs, and 4 more episodes, as you can see there. Monday night, I'll do an open Monday night Mark C. Comics talk. And then Wednesday night, I'm very proud to announce Retro Blasting returns.
Awesome.
To Clobberin Times. I'm going to have the great Michael French on with me. A year ago, a little bit short of a year ago, we did where we ranking the MCU movies from worst to first. As you know, there have been many additions to the MCU since then. We're going to revise our list. We'll go over the list a little bit, but we're also going to talk about some other things in general that he's really wanted to talk about as well. With regards
Doctor
to
Strange will be in that
the
list, I
MCU.
guess, now.
I think
or
he's
will that
gonna, yes, I'm going to add it to the list, and
Yep.
I think he's going to see it by then. I think he's, but so you may add it to his as well. So yeah, and again, my great buddy Michael French has joined me. I miss hanging out with him, and it's always great fun. If those who don't know Retro Blasting, it's a great channel, folks. Please go check them out if you haven't already.
Great
So,
guy, great channel. Yep, awesome
Yeah,
videos. Love
great friends.
Love Broken Vader.
Yeah, who doesn't love Broken Vader? I love Mr. Broken Vader.
Will he ever get his arms? We don't.
Yes,
know.
indeed.
No, he won't. He's
No.
not. Michael's not going to do it.
Never
We
will
don't
get
want
the
this.
arms. And, so everyone, thank you so much for being here with us tonight.
Here's my broken Pez Vader. No. He's got no arms.
And we'll see you tomorrow night at Saturday Night Star Trek. So everyone, please enjoy these important messages and check out the fictional works of our wonderful first officer. Good night, everybody.